cafe, say all I order is animal crackers, firecrackers won't do. Goodness gracious, I'm no chump, I just bit off the camel's hump. Animal crackers, I love you. I went to the animal fair, the birds and the beasts were there. The old baboon by the light of the moon was combing his auburn hair. And the monkey, he got drunk and sat on the elephant's trunk. The elephant sneezed and fell on his knees, and that was the end of the monk. Firecrackers won't do. Goodness gracious, I'm no chump, I just bit off the camel's hump. Animal crackers, I love you. I went to the animal fair, the birds and the beasts were there. The old baboon by the light of the moon was combing his auburn hair. And the monkey, he got drunk and sat on the elephant's trunk. The elephant sneezed and fell on his knees, and that was the end of the monk. fingers on the old day. And whenever I am at a swell cafe, say all I order is animal crackers, firecrackers won't do. Goodness gracious, I'm no chump, I just bit off the camel's hump. Animal crackers, I love you. I went through the animal hair, the birds and the geese were there. The old baboon by the light of the moon was combing his auburn hair. And the monkey, he got drunk and sat on the elephant's trunk. The elephant sneezed and fell on his knees, and that was the end of the monk.
The biggest problem with today's society is they don't appreciate the word honor. You don't honor one's bet. You don't honor one's word. And more importantly, you don't honor oneself. Over the weekend, my partner and myself had a bet. And going in such, I am a man of my word and a man of my honor. And I follow through with that. And as you watch this episode and enjoy it, I hope you reflect on that word honor. I hope it brings a little bit of meaning to you. And if it doesn't, and you're one of those millennial snowflakes, well, then we have an episode for you. But it's not this one. But make sure you go watch some archives, baby, because it's the Loki and Jabroni Show, and we're coming right at you. Aren't you getting in trouble for that?
So I don't know. We'll find out.
Are you going to get us in trouble again?
Let me enjoy myself just for another 30 seconds.
Like you didn't enjoy it all fucking Saturday?
There's a part I didn't enjoy, and I'll get to that in a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Loki and Jabroni Show. Fresh off the best college football rivalry in the world, the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. All right, full disclosure, you want to know what I didn't enjoy about it?
Yeah.
As the score is getting run up, and it was late 40s to 28, I got a little uncomfortable. Not that I didn't enjoy seeing my team score, but I don't want to watch you and Pokey just be all pissed off and forlorn. That's not what this rivalry is about to me.
I had a good buzz on. I was getting a ride home, so I wasn't too upset about it.
That I can understand.
I had a couple touchdowns, so I enjoyed a couple shots.
2 in 30 seconds even,
yeah,
man.
So,
that was fantastic.
So it wasn't all bad. I mean, it was a horrible game, but it wasn't.
The first
all
half was
bad.
really good. You got to give him that.
It was.
First half was fantastic. All right, so enough gloating. You can see my man over here living up to his word, much like we always do when we make wagers, friendly or otherwise.
Exactly.
I keep saying it looks good on you. Real quick, I got a joke for you.
We gotta get a hold of your man and talk to him about this because this is
I know you like that jersey better than. Well, not only that, you need some sparkly gimmick right here. All right, I got a joke for you real quick, and then the gloating's over. This year's game is done and done. How do you stop a Michigan fan from masturbating?
Well, okay, I don't know.
You paint his dick scarlet and gray, and he won't beat it for 5 years. You're welcome.
It's true.
Last one. It was a hell of a game.
No, you said one. That was it.
It was a hell of a game. Let's move on. Welcome to the Loki and Jabroni Show. My name is Chris Burns. I am the Jabroni, the Redneck Adonis, the man to my right.
It's Loki, as always. Nice to see you guys. And also, my man over in the box.
Eddie Focus. And he could care less about our football game.
Yes,
could.
that's true.
It's
That's
true.
true.
I want to give you a round of applause for some fantastic victual cooking on Saturday.
Oh, thank you, man.
Tasty as all hell. None for Pokey. That's a good thing because he's late.
Oh no, he had
Fucking
some scraps. He had some scraps.
That's all he deserved. My daughter had more than he did, and that's the way it should be. She was there for the game. But as we
nobody
do,
puts baby in the corner.
No, she
you
loved
feed
that.
Mrs. Eddie Focus, damn it.
She loved it too.
Absolutely. Before we go into what's on our mind, guys, don't forget this weekend, if you are in southeastern Connecticut, I can't be there because of work, but go to the Evan White fundraiser. The information is on our page.
I'm cooking.
Loki's doing up the cooking. $10 a head, I believe it is.
Yes. Yep.
Fantastic pasta dinners. Tell them all about it.
$6, I believe it was, for children under 5. Or might have been, yeah.
You can't do that at McDonald's
No, you
anymore.
can't.
And this is better.
There's salad. There's gonna be salad there. There's gonna be chicken Alfredo. Your choice of chicken Alfredo or meatball marinara. Crystal's gonna be doing the sauce. I'll be doing the meatballs, the chicken, and the Alfredo sauce myself.
Fantastic.
We are gonna have some DJ action there. I guess he's also gonna do some karaoke a little bit afterwards. We're gonna have some face paint for the kids. There's gonna be raffles there. There's gonna be a 50-50. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. I guess from what I just heard, we have 2 gift certificates to the tattoo parlor. I want to. I think. Oh man, I don't want to call the wrong place.
Well, why don't we look it up before the show is over? We're definitely gonna pimp this out again.
I thought I had it. Yeah, I thought I had a thing.
You're gonna
right
get some
in front
ink,
of me.
people.
But no, yeah, there's 2 of them for $125. So there's
125.
Yeah, 125 each. There's
That's not
also,
bad.
I got a $50.
That's half a dolphin, folks.
$50 thing for gift certificate to All Friends Animal Hospital. There's a nice little gift basket getting tossed together for your manimals or your mams up in there. There's a movie basket. There's a Girl Scout basket. There's all kinds of freaking cool baskets going on.
You mean a scout basket?
Yeah, we don't want to call them girls or boys.
Okay, yeah, but they literally say Girl Scout cookies right on.
I'm
them.
triggered.
I'm
This
just
is
saying what
bullshit.
it says. I'm just saying what it says. I'm just
Dead City Inc. is what I'm hearing.
It is Dead City Inc. Yes,
It's Janelle.
Yes.
Hi,
okay,
Janelle.
Good.
And-
I wanted to make.
Yeah, we want to make sure we get the right information for
It
you
was
guys.
right,
So
like I
let's
said.
give them the address real
I-
quick so they can get there. It's in Preston. I know that.
Yeah. It is the VFW in Preston.
Preston, Connecticut.
And yes, that is actually, what am I doing? I have
Oh, you have it right there.
I have it right here.
My man.
I made it.
Yeah.
I made that shit, man. All right.
So he's getting the info for you now.
There we go. So it is 28 Spicer Road, Preston, Connecticut, 06365, and it is $10 per ticket, $5 for kids under 6. Takeout will also be available for you if you don't want to eat it there. But why would you not?
There's so much fun going
So many
on.
fun things going on there. There's actually going to be a cash bar available too for all you people that like to have some drinks and some wine with your pasta. It's going to be available, and
For all you charitable drunks
all
out
you
there.
charitable drunkies.
The best kind.
Liquor
them up and open the
It's
wallet.
going to be a good time. It's going for a good cause.
I see what they did there.
You like that, right? Right. It's going for a great cause. Like I said, it's help pretty much Evan. I mean, his bill just came in. It's yeah.
You know, I don't.
Can I just say it's just ridiculous?
I was
man.
about to
It's
say I
just what
understand medical
people-
bills are ridiculous.
What they even charge you nowadays? They should be You know what? You should, and this is just real quick, but you should be able to like go to them and physically like auction down some of these prices and be like, seriously,
You need to
dude?
negotiate.
Yeah, exactly. Be like, seriously, dude?
You can if you don't have insurance.
Yeah,
I know.
75, 75, 175,
But
175,
but
you know what's
175,
scary?
75, 25.
Call around, just ask how much an X-ray is. Nobody can tell you. They'll ask.
Oh, yeah.
They'll say, "What's your insurance?"
What's your
company?"
insurance?
But
Yeah,
yeah,
and then
no.
it-
Who do
How
you
much
have?
is it?
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know.
They
It's not like a Mazda
But if you said, I
19.
guarantee, like, so they would bill an insurance company $500. I guarantee if you said you didn't have insurance, they'd be like, "Give me $60."
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, it's all electronic now. They don't even have to do the photo paper.
Oh God, no! They don't even have to
Yeah.
fucking worry about you.
There's
chilling
no
over there, man.
transparency
It's
in
just-
medical
it's all
costs. That's the
fucking-
problem.
Yeah, it's
You know,
all-
I'm not a big fan of kids nowadays. I saw somebody share recently about the kids being pushed through school, not having to do all
Yeah.
the work and whatever. So you know how much I'm into toughening up the kids. So here's what you do: when Evan's leg gets better and everything's healed and he's back to normal, throw him outside with a shovel, a rake, a couple sponges, wash the car, have him work that bill off.
Oh yeah.
Teach him what it's like to be
Well,
a
he's
man.
gonna have he's gonna have the chicken leg because that cast has been on there, so he's gonna. Have
I remember
To work.
I broke my leg and my leg was in a cast for 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And it looks like this when it goes in. It looks like this when it comes out.
Is he gonna be doing? Does he have to do physical therapy?
I imagine
he got
would
hit
have
pretty
to.
bad.
Yeah, I would imagine it's gonna be
because he hasn't really been walking, right?
No, God no, he can't.
So he's gonna have
It's got to set. It's got to set properly. So
he's probably gonna have to relearn to walk and.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh no. Absolutely.
And it sucks at that age.
A lot of
because,
things. No, exactly because you're so fearless at that age automatically.
Well, not only that is like I broke my leg. I was 14 years old.
But you also heal faster. You know.
Well,
but
that whole
even
walking
as a
thing,
young
it
adult,
was, it was tepid the first time you take steps for the first time in 6 months.
Oh yeah, well you have nothing for
muscle memory's gone.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Exactly. You're literally relearning.
And even when they give you the walking cast, you're like, I don't know, is my leg gonna break on the first step? You just don't know.
What sucks for him too is he's still kind of at that age where he's gonna have like growth spurts. Yeah. So there's a danger of things not growing at the same time.
No, exactly.
Not trying to scare you, Janelle. I know you're watching.
Yeah.
So but it's really going to such a huge cause, and like I said, she's been there for him the whole time. You know, we've obviously had nights where I've taken her out, and even then, she's the first thing is I wonder how Evan's doing. I'm what's
that's
going
natural,
on.
and you can't.
And
I know you don't falter, but that's natural.
Oh no, she recently went back to work, and you could tell that she was uncomfortable. She just didn't, she hasn't been the same. Sure, stomach is. It's just. It's a whole other scenario when you dedicate, say, a couple months to a child being at home, and especially a child that you dedicate, that he's essentially he's a handicapped child. He can't move, he can't do things for his own. For the first month, he couldn't do anything. I mean, it was was
bedridden.
Literally, yeah, exactly. It was literally her.
He's got a lot of energy for someone like him. That's not easy.
I'll say this, and I hadn't seen him since the accident, but we all obviously Thanksgiving together. Another fantastic holiday has come and gone, and we all had a good time. To see him playing the little video game, and I walked through the door, and I know he took a hit to the head because I walked through the door. He goes, "Hey, Chris, how are you?" And I was hurt. I was hurt. I walked up. I said, "What'd you say to me?"
Well, he can't really get you a beer.
Well, no, but still, he can always ask. And he's like, "Hey, Chris." I'm like, "Hey, Chris, want some?" He's like, "Candy? Turkey? Pie?"
If he's sitting there in a cast, I mean, I would love it if he'd be like, "Look, motherfucker, do I look like I can get you a fucking beer?
I would have bought that.
Get your own fucking beer, bro. I would have
bought that.
How about you bring me a beer? I'm all fucked up,
right,
kid."
I would have bought that, but it was like, "Hey, Chris, what's up?" I'm like, "Dude, 5 years now. 5 years. You sing the same song, but I get it. It was just great to see him in good spirits." Oh, yeah. And I asked him, "How's your leg?" "My leg is great." Yeah. And he was upbeat, and that's the coolest thing about this. But there's still a long road, and that's what this fundraiser is all about.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's getting back to normal because him and Anna were fighting over video games.
Oh, of course they were. Like so let's say hello to some people.
Super easy. Even if you just want to donate, I mean, it's that simple, guys. It's even if you don't want to just pop in there, be like, "Hey guys, not sticking around for your delicious food," although I don't see why you wouldn't, but here's this and here's that. Or if you're not into pasta and you just want to come by for the festivities and join in from some of these great raffles, buy some drinks. There you go. Get your little glow on there instead.
Spicy meatball.
If I can make it before it ends, I will be there, but work unfortunately beckons. Hello, Stacy. Hello, Janelle. Hello, Steven. My man Steven, the non-Flat Earth Jones. It's not Waddick, Waddle Face. It's Stephen Jones. That's it from now on.
Actually, we are us flatters.
Us flatters.
Yeah. Okay. I'm actually buying into the theory.
Are you really now?
Yeah. Because all right, so here we are.
Yep.
Right.
Good night, folks.
Eddie just quit.
And we're no, because I'm looking forward to this part. So we're gonna be on this part right here, right? Now we're on the cusp of right here.
Yep.
This is where the swing happens. So this is where the magic happens, and it's gonna be like a free fall. You know what I'm saying? So this is gonna be great.
All right,
gonna be great.
Looking forward to that. All right, so as we do, I wanted to get the plug in at the beginning and the end of the show for Evan. So, what's on your mind, kid?
Oh man, I posted it on Facebook, and I don't know if I just have that many.
This never ends well.
I just don't know if I have that many Patriot fans or people just look the other way. This past Sunday, ex-Viking, ex-Raider, now present Patriot, Cordell Patterson, decided it would be a great idea to grab the junkins of a Jets defensive player.
Oh, Jesus.
And in the video, you can see the fist plainly clinching the sack almighty of the poor Jet player.
Oh, you got to be kidding
Now,
me.
this guy not only flails, but he proceeds to collapse onto his back. That is how bad Patterson squeezed this nut. Keep that in mind. As Patterson is getting up, he is eyeballing this poor soul on the ground and continues to walk
You got
away.
any more dick in them drawers?
There is no penalties, no nothing. There's no talk.
How would you call
afterwards.
that? That would be my question. The referee walks out and said,
Grabbing the
illegal
junk.
hands to the junk. Number 25, defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down. I mean, you just can't announce that in front of people.
Grabbing the Junkins.
He's getting good with that thing.
Grabbing the Junkins. Man, I'm just look. It's Thanksgiving weekend. I understand you like the giblets.
He wanted the giblets.
You know, but come on, man. Like when questioned too at the end of the game, he said, "I don't like no man's ball or dick in my face."
No, just in his hand.
So you grab a
What the?
handful of that.
I'm telling you, I told Eddie earlier. My
Hey, look,
head hurts. My
it just
eyes are
goes-
twitching. I'm having
I'm
a
just
stroke
gonna
right
say
here.
this before I move on to the next topic.
Oh, you got more topics?
No. Before
Okay.
we move on to
I was
before
gonna
we
say,
move on to yours.
how do you
the
beat
next topic.
how do you beat hands
No,
to the junk?
Before we move on to the next one, I've told you guys countless times. Wear a cup in professional sports. That's your own damn fault.
Mm-hmm.
He should have grabbed a handful of junkin that was cupping. That's it, buddy. And then all he would have had is like Katy Perry, finger up the asshole. That's it, buddy. That's all. That's all he would have had. No grabbings, no nothing.
Oh man, what the fuck? Steven, I will watch your video. I did see it though, that you sent it, so thank you. We lost somebody today. I don't know how great he was, because he's caused me many a heartache and headache over the years. But Steven Hillenberg passed away at the age of 57 today. If that name doesn't sound familiar to you,
Oh, I read
he's
this.
the guy that brought us the wonder that is SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes.
Don't know if he wrote the song. If he did, I'm still not going to speak ill of that. Today he died. I'll wait a week. I'll say my piece next week. ALS, and believe me, you don't want to watch somebody die from ALS. Steve Gleason, former Saint, was sidelined for the game Thursday night, and he looks terrible. But that it gets you from the inside out and just robs you of all your function. Jason Becker, guitarist for David Lee Roth back in the day, same thing. It's just terrible. ALS is a terrible way to die.
No,
I
it's
don't know if y'all listening remember that was the remember the ice bucket challenge.
Yeah,
that
I
was
did
for
that.
ALS.
Yes,
I did it.
yes.
That was for ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. I kinda
They used to
think-
tell him in the locker room, Lou, there's a disease out there with your name written all over.
You know, and
he
it's
didn't believe him.
it sucks when everybody was doing it then. We all said it then. This is gonna be one of those stupid ass trends that everybody's gonna forget about. And guess what?
Nope.
We kind of forgot about it, and here he is.
You know what though?
dying of it, and here
Oh, there's
Yeah,
so
but-
many other
but how
challenges.
many-
the Tide Pod challenge. I
no,
mean, so
exactly.
important.
But I wonder how much awareness and how much money did it bring in that year?
A lot.
Oh,
A lot,
tons.
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
A lot of money.
A lot, and then the next year after that, it's just like it was on to the next thing, and that's what I hate about fads. It's like can we as a people just make like say giving and giving back a fad? How about that? Why
Sure.
does it have to be a specific thing? Why does it have to be like every year we're focusing on one thing? As
Well, it's not a
opposed to
bad thing to
everything?
spread the
No, no,
love,
it's-
but
But it's literally like you are one year we're on this, and then what? Last year it was. I mean, obviously you have your every years you have your breast cancer awareness, and you have you used to have vets, but you don't really talk about those.
no, we're too
no
busy.
more.
We're too busy crying about illegal immigrants coming into our country, or
Yeah.
the fact that less people are getting shot by cops this year than ever before. Yes, I
that's-
said it.
It's amazing.
No, I said it before.
I
came
know
in.
you did.
Jerk.
Do you know why? Is because they actually have cameras now. They can see your fucking faces.
Well, here's the thing. If you compare it to like prohibition, cops shot 10,000 people a year. Now it's down to like 800 and something.
We were
So,
drinking. Yeah, we're
We're
drinking.
making
Progress,
Dude.
bro.
We're also fucking drunk. And have you ever dealt with a drunk person and a gun?
Well, I think
Oh, a drunk person, yes. With a
I
gun,
think-
no.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was more the liquor black market, but okay, we'll go with what you said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you don't think none of these black market motherfuckers are drinking every fucking day? And what do you think they had with them? A gun.
Oh,
So
back then, yeah.
Tommy guns.
So when the police
Back when
came,
America was great.
That's
when
right.
the police came knocking,
That's what we need to make
those
America great
motherfuckers
again.
were shooting, dude. There was no questions asked. So yeah, police would drop fucking
Al
an
Capone like a
entire
motherfucker.
They would drop an entire gang like that.
If only he'd paid his taxes.
Absolutely.
And not only they drop the
Only paid
entire
his
gang,
theft.
they'd stuff them in a fucking wagon and roll them down the fucking
Mhm.
street with the doors open. Look who the fuck we shot.
Right. So going back to your point on the ALS and why don't we have these awesome challenges again? Maybe we'll come up with. We always do every April our fundraiser. We'll do something again this year. But if you guys have some free time, go to your Amazon through lokiandjabroni.com affiliate links. Watch the Gleason documentary and watch the Jason Becker documentary to see who they were and who they are now and how this disease just absolutely destroys you.
I can tell you right now, like, I liked the ice bucket challenge. I really did.
That was fun.
But the fact that things like the Tide Pod challenge have happened, no one's going to take that stuff seriously anymore.
No.
You know,
It's unfortunate.
There's all kind. There's fuck your mama challenge.
Well, speak of challenges,
There's just stupid ass challenges out
Angela
there,
and-
but there's challenges that actually mean a damn
Fuck your
thing.
I know.
Mama
Angela and
challenge.
Emma had
Oh,
a
yeah.
challenge the other night.
hit the button.
Here it comes.
Challenge accepted.
Angela and Emma were talking shit to each other. Angela was talking about how sour cream goes on everything, and Emma was like,
Does.
"Ew, that's gross. Ew, that's gross." And Emma said, "Well, I could probably drink a bottle of A1." Challenge was on. I tried to film it. My phone was being gay that day. Yes, I said
Ah.
gay. And Angela was just there like it was pudding, and she just went to town. Emma got
Yeah.
halfway through and started to get in the gurgle. She tried. She failed, and I didn't baby her. I'm like, nope, next time you keep your fucking mouth shut when you tell somebody, I bet you I could drink a bottle of A1. No, you cannot. It's that fucking simple.
Look,
But those are dumb challenges.
Like, if
I
you
do-
invite me to your house for nachos and no sour cream, I'm going to turn around and leave.
I'd
yeah,
make
but
sure there was sour cream.
That's not
but-
just everything, okay?
exactly.
That's nachos.
My ex-brother-in-law.
Tacos.
Ranch on
Tacos.
everything. Tacos.
Fajitas.
But he,
Tomato soup.
Quesadilla.
I'm catching a very
got a Mexican theme
specific
going on
going
here.
on here.
Chili.
All right, that's Tex-Mex. Go ahead.
No, yep, he's moving up the border now. He's just crossed the wall.
You just
He
got
has not
fucking-
been tear gassed.
I actually put a little bit
He
in
did get-
cheeseburger soup. It was really good.
Okay, same.
See, yeah, no, okay, I'm going with that.
Sour-
But
But
sour
you-
cream does not go on anything.
But you're not slapping that
Ice
on
cream.
a slab of exactly, or pepperoni pizza,
yeah,
or
you
your
don't
Set
toast,
me up.
or you're not throwing it on your fucking scrambled eggs.
right.
You ain't tossing it with your bacon.
Fucking
You're not
disgusting.
fucking
I would
putting
put-
it on the side of your
actually-
waffles.
I would eat sour cream with the eggs if it had salsa on it.
Oh, see, going back to the Tex-Mex theme.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, but
Eddie.
it's the contrast of flavors that make it
No, I
good.
think it's contrast.
All right, before we lose everybody, what's on your mind?
Now,
Now this is where we lose everybody.
no, we're gonna talk real quick, just some video game comic stuff,
Woo!
Nice.
and you have to remain silent for one part of it.
I'll do my best.
Okay, so some good news. I'm pretty excited about this. Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead, his company Skybound is
Mhm.
going to finish the Walking Dead game.
Oh, that's cool.
Because Telltale is gone.
Yes,
Everything's
yeah,
been completely
everything.
shut down.
There is
Uh,
no finishing. There's no more finishing of the Batman tales. There's no more finishing
No.
of the freaking Dead. No, it's all
All-
gone.
All their licensed properties, if you go on Steam, are gone.
Never know how it ends.
No shit.
Yeah, like because they made games for what the hell's that show I've never seen? Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah,
They made games for like
they made
different
one for
properties.
Batman. They made one for the
Yeah.
obviously the Walking Dead one that they freaking made
They
there.
were working on Minecraft.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all their licensed properties I noticed got pulled off Steam. The only games that are still on there are ones they made.
I'll tell you what, they were
So-
pretty fucking. They were pretty crazy. I watched some of the kids play the Walking Dead one there.
I
and-
like it.
and that was
It-
pretty.
It's here's the thing. It's more of an interactive novel, really,
Right.
than a straight
It's
adventure
like a choose
game,
your own
but-
adventure, exactly. But
you
no,
know.
there was some active, like if
Ki-
you weren't paying attention.
Considering I haven't played it yet, but their new Walking Dead Overkill game is fucking tanking.
Oh, isn't that the one where you?
It just came out like last month and it's tanking badly. Bad AI, bad spawning, just
Yeah.
the only good thing about it is the environments, everyone says. But even something as silly as fire looks stupid. Like I was watching a video and it's like totally tanking. So there's that. Really excited that game's gonna be finished. Fallout 76 is bombed so hard it went from $59 to $35 within
Yes.
a week.
Within a week. man, because there is
So
glitch
many glitches.
city. How do you? It's you know what? It's the same thing with Red Dead, man. How do you expect to go online with that many people in an open sandbox world? You have to be ready for it. GTA, a lot of people forget. As soon as GTA 5 online came out, dude, boom!
Here's the thing. Bethesda set the bar with Skyrim, so
Yes.
you need to put out that quality every time.
Yes, you
And
do.
now Fallout 4, I guess, I haven't played it really. It did really good. I'm more of a fan of
Fallout
the
4 was. I had fun with it, and I wasn't a big Fallout player.
I was
so-
more of a fan of the isometric Fallout games before they went to first person or third person, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, you can do either
But-
one. You can do first and third.
Yes.
So
Comics, and I see Chris on his phone because he's gonna work really hard.
Sharing the link. What I do.
Working really hard. Aquaman early reviews are in. Big fun wild ride. Aquaman best DC movie since The Dark Knight. Insane.
The Dark Knight.
Insane cheesy underwater Star Wars. Critics are really liking it. So fingers crossed that you were wrong about everything, and I was right. But we'll see what happens. So far, the early reviews are good. That could change.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There are some people that thought Justice League was good.
Nobody
I
got time
liked
for
it.
that.
I
But
thought
it was okay.
I liked it. The villain was weak. That was my problem with
I
it.
thought
Steppenwolf
it was
so terrible.
I think it
Yeah.
was like ordering a bacon, egg, and cheese, and then getting there and opening it up and realizing you have ham.
or
You're still gonna eat it.
or a really bad CGI.
You're still gonna
mustache.
fucking enjoy it. It's still gonna fill you up. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't. Fucking
My lip is so
bacon, egg, and
fake.
cheese.
Also-
All right, buddy.
Can't even tell.
Also, someone asked Ezra Miller about Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill.
I have no idea
what you're
talking about.
And they asked Ezra Miller, who plays the Flash, about Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill, and he says, it's a lot of talk and rumor without any confirmation, but the Flash movie's still happening. It's going to be awesome in 2020.
Good.
So
All right. So
I like him as the Flash. I think
he's
didn't mind him.
that kid was pretty cool as the
Yeah.
Flash. Yeah.
I didn't mind him.
So now
we'll
comes
see
the
what goes
part
on.
where Eddie gets his gimmick ready, as usual. Last week he kind of fell off. I listened back. It wasn't
Fell
his
asleep.
fault. He was so ingrained in the conversation. It was so good.
fell asleep.
What'd I
Okay.
do?
You missed the cue when I say now it's time for the newest, most funnest, the best 30 seconds of your life other than your wedding night. This is Loki's Buy or Sell.
I know.
I think you should.
Yep.
Such a good boy.
Talk about missing cues.
He was talking to me. I was setting up my phone.
Yeah, we're setting it up. We're talking.
What are you
This is,
talking
that's what we do here.
Nobody
talking
wants to
about?
hear you guys talk to each other.
Oh, that's
Shut
right.
your hole. That's what this whole show is about. Us talking.
I missed the whole reason.
Shut your
why
whore
we're-
mouth, Loki.
God.
Shut up, Eddie. Get out of my house.
God. All right. So we're going to start off.
Mm-hmm. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
There we go. We're going to start out with Ed. Ed. Well, Walking Dead killed off Jesus, yet marking another major comic book character to die
I haven't seen it yet. Fucking
on the
spoiler.
show. Are you serious?
No, I'm kidding. I just caught up. to
I
it.
was going to say. Come
I
on,
hope, for the sake of all it's good and holy, that you boned up today at the movie theater for our discussion tonight.
man. I hope so too.
I didn't
And
see the movie,
still
Asshole.
I
live
couldn't
on the
see it.
comics. But who needs original characters and stories anyways, right? Buy or
Right.
sell?
What am I selling? That they killed Jesus?
No. Are you buying or selling that you don't need an original story or characters anymore when you make it into a show?
Well, side note, they haven't confirmed that he's dead. It's still left up in the air, so I think this could be a Walking Dead
No, they-
mindfuck.
All right. Well,
But-
no, they definitely. But to your side note, they do have a scene where they're having a burial thing, and he's in a nice shiny silver casket, and what's his name was giving his tearful goodbyes. Plus the
It's a
actor.
mindfuck.
Plus, the actor himself has confirmed that he's not salty about the death. He was shocked at first, but not salty.
God, did these guys just show up and they just like killed him at random?
They're just like,
Oh,
"You're
by the
dead."
way, you're gonna die today.
Yep.
You're gonna die, clown. Like they told Andrew Leakin, oh, by the way, we're not really gonna kill you. Fuck!
Damn. I was getting all sad.
Dude, Walking Dead needs to do something. I mean, at this point, like, you don't have Rick Grimes, all bets are off. So, personally, I think if they're smart, they'll do something more with Negan and maybe put him into the Rick Grimes role. So,
well,
I'm buying.
He's definitely liked. He's definitely liked. Plus, you know, the character itself, Negan, is the only.
He's the only thing that carried me through the last season.
And he's
last
the
2 seasons.
only original character pretty much alive now at this fucking point that, you know, I mean, from the comics that's been going on.
Michonne, Maggie.
Yeah.
And who I guess Maggie's leaving, the actress. She's leaving next.
Oh, it's because she wants money, and they don't want to pay her. But
you know, I don't blame them. After like 10 fucking years on the same show,
you may as well just give him a minute and 30 seconds every fucking time.
I don't. I was throwing in. I was throwing my quick points with this. I'm gonna say, it used to be Game of Thrones. I've never watched Game of Thrones. I don't know about any of you guys here. Never been a big fan. Never watched it at all.
It's never
but
free.
They were always killing. Yeah, exactly. They were always killing motherfuckers. I think these guys have kind of stepped up and killed all of your people off.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I guess that would be for you. You know, I know you're not a big fan of the show, so let me kind of spring it around a little bit. You're used to say Batgirl, a.k.a. Oracle, being inside, you know, her wheelchair all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, they make a movie of this. They kill off Batgirl. They kill off Robin. They kill off, hell, Rick Grimes. They kill off Batman, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think comics can survive going into the movies or into a show by eliminating major characters, eliminating major story plots by yourself?
I'm going to buy it with an option to sell. You can certainly kill a character or two. You can't kill them all, because then you have to relearn everything, new characters. It's easy if you have 3 seasons, you kill off a character, you introduce somebody new. 2 more seasons later, you kill off somebody. Or in movies, you have 2 franchise movies. Apollo Creed is a great example. You had 4 movies to learn Apollo. They kill him, but they introduce new characters, and you move forward. You can certainly survive.
I agree with that. Plus, I mean, this with Walking Dead, it's a little easier because you are in an apocalyptic area where people are coming and going all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty easy to throw that in there.
My opinion, they should have done is after Rick left, they should have just canceled The Walking Dead, move everybody to Fear the Walking Dead, because now they're starting to overlap, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Because now there's nobody being pissy. Because now you actually have two separate. And it's funny because people will go up to Robert Kirkland and they'll be like, "What the hell do you think about this?" He's like,
"He's got nothing to do with
it." Yeah,
it.
exactly. He's like, "I sold this fucking shit to them a while ago. They can follow my path, or they can do whatever the fuck they want."
That producer credit is just so he gets a check.
Exactly. I sold the intellectual property years ago. I just collect funds now.
Now to help you out, Chris, back to you. Bray Wyatt has been seen skulking the backstage. Could this be prime pickings for the once protege to The Undertaker? Buy or sell?
Buying it. He made a surprise appearance at the Starrcade event, which is not on the WWE Network, but it should be. He fought Baron Corbin. From what I understand, the reports are he did a great job. It's a better product with him. He's always fun. People dig putting their phones in the air and hearing the music. Probably the best entrance in the business right now, other than Shinsuke. I think it's a great thing. Have him come back, give him a little freshness. Just send him out there, all guns blazing, buying it, 100%.
I haven't seen it, but I'll buy it. Hopefully.
You remember Bray, right?
Yeah. So and we kind of talked about this when we did the event there. They don't really know how to really sell them properly. Hopefully they're trying something new, taking a risk. Because I don't see WWE taking a lot of risk right now.
No. You read about that one, man.
Quick question. I got a mini buy or sell. You don't even have to say anything. There's a rumor that The Rock is going to do a match at the next WrestleMania in New York. How do you feel? How do you feel about The Rock making a comeback? It doesn't matter how you feel.
Coming back? No, that's not a comeback.
No,
that's not a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
I do want to see that Page movie though, coming in February.
Yes, that looks good. Also starring The Rock.
Also starring The Rock. Absolutely.
He's in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is. Ed, you're gonna pull this one.
Just give me my minute and a half.
I can't even say this.
Give them a whole buy or sell episode.
Here we go.
Let them have fun.
I love it. I'd do a whole
Should
episode.
kids get tear gassed when their moms bring them over our border? Buy or sell?
And this is where I thought we were going to lose everybody before. Now,
I assume you're talking about the migrants that got
Yes,
tear gas.
of course.
Okay, so what is not being shown is them throwing rocks at DHS, okay, and trying to bust through a gate because they're not being processed fast enough or whatever. So, yes, your ass gets tear gassed. I'm sorry. And if your kids are with you, that's your fault. I'm sorry. They're not going to sit there. They're not shooting you.
and I thought I was going to trigger somebody today. Oh, my Lord.
It's just the media bullshit.
It is. All right, I'm not going to need the whole thing. If you plan on storming a country, and in many of these cases circumnavigating the immigration laws, don't bring your fucking kid. It's that simple. Sell, 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 sell.
I did say sell, right? Okay.
You did say sell.
You know,
I'm assuming it was implied.
you also said, and I quote, "At least they're not shooting at you."
That's a good point. I have to agree with him on this one.
Look, man, you don't bring your kid to a fucking Anthrax concert, all right?
Why not?
You know,
I wouldn't bring my 10-year-old, but if she was 16, I might.
So these are the people that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, with the little babies.
You know,
somebody
know-
brought up a good point. Somebody brought up a good point where they said, okay, if you're coming to a country to seek asylum, you basically are saying you want to be in this country because my country is terrible.
Mhm.
But if you walk up carrying your country's flag saying, I want asylum,
You're
invading-
trying to leave
you're
that.
invading the country.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you come in with a flag, you're representing another country.
Let me walk
It's
into
a-
Fenway Park carrying a Yankee
Granted.
flag, and I know it's not
True.
the same,
No,
but I want to leave my country and join yours. I'm going to get beat on the way in because I'm carrying the opposing flag.
No, I agree.
In the old days, if somebody charged up to a border with another country's flag,
you get shot.
they usually had bayonets on their rifles.
Shot,
Yep.
man.
I'm
You
just
get
saying, like, you would think if you're leaving a country
Here it
because
goes
it's
again.
that bad. Sorry, I'm thoughtful.
You know what? Let's do this. Next week, we're going to start a new deal. I get 15 seconds,
No, we'll
and he
link
gets
it.
3.5 minutes.
Well, you got to.
I'm just fucking with
I'll
you.
make sure it's there.
No, it's
I know.
the whole situation is
It
frustrating.
is. No, it is.
And I have no problem with people seeking asylum, but if you still have your country's flag, you must not hate it that much.
Right? Oh, we're
Well-
proud. We're proud of our heritage. Then stay the fuck there,
Exactly.
dumbasses.
Chris,
Yep.
Pentagon says report of the active
Who
shooter.
does?
Pentagon
Okay.
says report of the active shooter at Walter Reed Medical Center was a drill. Buy or sell?
I'm gonna have to sell it. Several eyewitnesses and news reports say it happened, so I have to go with that. Until I dig further into it, I really got nothing. But I don't believe a whole lot of what comes out of the Pentagon, the White House, Congress, the House of Representatives, which, by the way, Miss Octavia Cortez Schnabitz-Fernum is going to live because she can't find an apartment. Yeah, I don't believe a lot of what comes out of the Pentagon. Sell, sell, sell.
What do you got, Ed?
I buy it. I totally believe that they said that.
They said that. Do you believe that there was a shooter, or do you believe it was bullshit?
Did somebody die?
No, nobody died, and they never found the shooter. But, and hold on, let me clarify, because I do have picturos for you.
Okay.
I
Hold on.
just want to
Not
point out
full.
it's him right now.
Yeah, I know. He paused your time, though. I got it. I'm with him. But, yeah, now it's just
Can't please everybody.
getting silly.
I'll tell you what, you can't please everybody. Around 2, and this was after of which they said around 3, or they posted about 1:30 that there was a shooter, an active shooter on, shots were heard, blah, blah, blah. The same people, it was later a post on the Facebook page, was stated by the Department of Defense and the Navy, which has called the incident a drill. Around 2 p.m. today, Tuesday, November 27th, a call came into security at the NSA Bathurst with a report of an active shooter situation in the basement of Building 19 at the Wald Research Station.
Mhm.
Security responded and cleared the building, finding no indication of an active shooter. After investigating the call and the origin, NSA has determined that this was a false alarm and was not part of a scheduled drill as it had been reported.
I honestly,
So
I was
now-
joking before, but ultimately
No, you
I'm
weren't.
gonna buy it because it wouldn't be the first time the military or anything has done something like this where they do a drill and like it comes up on a police scanner. I mean, for fuck's sake, like Orson Welles convinced the whole world we're being invaded by aliens. So I mean,
Well, we were more naive.
like some of the early
Were we
9/11
now?
we were. Some of the
Touche.
some of
Touche.
the 9/11 radio calls from the
Touche.
planes when they said that terrorists hit the building, the first thing they said was, "Is this live or exercise?" So they do stuff
Wow.
all the time.
That's true. All right, Chris.
Yep.
James Fields. We all remember him from Charlotte, the rallies.
Oh yes.
Took a Charger and decided to run over a whole bunch of people.
I do remember that.
You remember him?
Mhm.
Well, according to him, he thought that he was being attacked, and what he pulled off, his maneuver, was in an act of defense. You buy or sell that one?
Sell, dumbass. There's video.
One death, by the way. We
Yeah,
all know that.
There's video of this. He wasn't being chased. There's nobody behind him for
There was
forever.
people knocking on his window at first. Remember that?
Yeah, okay.
Just to throw that in there.
I can
in case
knock
you
on
know.
your window doesn't mean you're
They're
being
like,
attacked.
you know.
Whatever. You're a fucking idiot. Sell. Get off my lawn.
Ugh, I'm gonna trigger some people with that one. I mean, most of this is conspiracy, but there's evidence to suggest that that girl didn't even die from the impact, and that she was actually pushed off the car, and she actually died of a heart attack. The picture they show of her shows her as being this very kind of not super skinny, but skinnier. And when you look at the video, she's a very large woman. And I don't know. I'm gonna call Switzerland on that. I don't know.
You're layaway.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lay away. Then.
Okay, layaway's good.
First of all,
Layaway.
you know a car is dangerous, so
Yes, yes.
I'm leaning on.
We
sell.
discussed that
No,
before, and he
no.
told us we were assholes when the guy in the truck at 70 miles an hour through the woods of New Hampshire, and the cop shot him. Well, no, you can't. How do you have it both
What
ways?
the hell are you talking
We have to
about?
go back to like episode 31 or something.
We all change our ideas. On
Yeah, I
that.
understand.
I think we all realize that a vehicle is very much a dangerous weapon.
No,
It's-
yeah, but
it's
this whole rally.
but
was
at the
a
same
fucking
thing,
nightmare.
I do, yeah, exactly. And where he was, and when they started hitting his car, I'm sure he was probably fearful at first. But the minute you hit that gas and the first person was hit, then that becomes assault.
Mhm.
That becomes assault, and there's no questions around it. I don't,
Here's what I say: let the fucking Nazis talk. Nobody cares about their bullshit.
it's true.
Seriously,
I just want to burn
all 2,000 of them in the country are not gonna fucking make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all I have today for buy and sell.
Another fantastic round.
May I have a gimmick.
Yes,
please?
you may.
I'm gonna need it after that rousing.
People, though, man. People.
You know what? I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna give you a cooler to keep it cold, just for you. And look, it's extra large, just for your extra tall gimmick. There you go.
You're just trying to get me to sell Harvick.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Your love affair with Harvick.
The dream season died a horrible death. I know. And we'll talk about that on Thursday. Or maybe next week. I haven't decided. I'm enjoying my week off. It's been kind of relaxing and fun.
I like the off season.
Because we only do it every other 2 weeks on the CJ Speeder Review. Check that out too. But I guess now is the time where we slow it down a bit. We introduce our other segment. All right, tonight's passage. One of you will jump all over this. The other one will not.
Poetry.
The machine of a dream. Such a clean machine. With the pistons pumping and the hubcaps all gleam. When I'm holding your wheel, all I hear is your gear. With my hand on your grease gun, it's like a disease. I'm in love with my car. Got a feel for my automobile. Get a grip on my racer roller bar. Such a thrill when your radials squeal. Told my girl I'll have to forget her. Rather buy me a new carburetor. She made tracks saying this is the end. Now cars don't talk back. They're just four-wheeled friends now. Eddie? Music or poetry?
I'm going to say music. Is that Primus?
No.
I'm going to go with music, too.
You're going to go with music in honor of tonight's episode. That was Queen, I Love My Car. One of the most ridiculous songs ever written, however. You got to love it.
If you watch the movie, that's
one of the boiling points amongst the band. Roger, how could you... I'm in love with my car, which, by the way, fuck you for not seeing the movie yet again.
I'm gonna
I know.
Terrible song, and that was the one song that we're like, that's gonna be the hit. That's gonna be number one.
We're gonna go with "You're My Best Friend" and "I'm in Love with My Car." In Bohemian Rhapsody, blows the fuck up.
That's
yeah, right.
The end of it.
Fuck. But then, and Freddie later on gives him shit. Watch the movie. What is this? I'm in love with my car? Are you serious? Your songs aren't strong enough. Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna go fuck me a nice man. I made that part up. He didn't actually say that in the film.
He probably did.
Well, it's in the director's cut.
I'm sure.
Anyway,
actually, speaking of which, Brian May is saying he's hoping that guy gets
Rami Malek
nominated.
He should.
So.
And look, we talked about it off air, on air. We've talked about it privately. If you watch that side-by-side video, it's on YouTube right now of the film and Live Aid. And Rami Malek really he nails it. It's so dead-on perfect. From the moves on the piano, checking the sound.
Even Brian May is saying that.
The Pepsi cups.
The beer.
Perfect sync.
Dude,
I'm like,
the same cup and everything. They had the same amount of liquid in them. Mm-hmm. I was like, dude,
attention to detail is amazing.
Oh, it was. It really was. It's like I said, watch that movie and do yourself a favor and go home and watch.
I just wish the same people who make for every great music.
Did you ever find that the Pika Mercury that I showed you? Do you think we could probably play that for these guys?
I don't know.
It's
his vocalization. It's not copyrighted material. If you can find it,
it's Pika Mercury. Just type out Pika, because a Pika is a real animal. That's what the Pikachu came from. It's a rodent rabbit thingy.
Yeah.
So type in the word Pika Mercury.
I'm afraid, but
no, you should be. But these people need to see it.
And it was funny
on the screen.
It's funny.
It popped up right at the top.
Yeah, because now go ahead and play that for our people.
He's got to put it up on the screen. I mean, he's got to figure this out. It's going to take a moment.
But Jay said we should have done this as an intro, and I was like, well,
that would have been pretty badass. If you're listening on audio only, this is another good reason why you should watch the show on the YouTube channel.
Watch the shit on YouTube.
Scoot ahead to this point if you're on Apple Podcast. You look at the little time thing. So, I got to go to 39:41. Boom, watch it. This is going to be fun. He showed me this Saturday during halftime, and I almost shit myself.
So this is from Live Aid, and this is actually Freddie's warm up. He does this a lot in a lot of the, lot of his concerts.
The call and response from the crowd.
Right? But this one specifically was from Live Aid. Now the best thing about this video is whoever did it did a great job, because even the way that
he should be in movies. It's a damn genius.
Is looking around for the reaction from people. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
How are we doing over there, Ed?
Hang on.
Right.
Fucking ads.
All right. Fuck these ads.
That's the one thing I freaking absolutely hate about YouTube. Right? And it's funny, they actually put it on the bottom. You see that shit now?
Yep.
It's like actually yellow spots where
the ads are going to come in.
Pop in. It's like,
when we get done with the video, we may as well start with Freddie Mercury in this discussion, and then we'll move on. But that video,
well,
again, hilarious.
I think it symbolizes him to a T. You know what I'm saying? It's just, the energy. You can literally throw that on anything and you'll buy it, just because that's the type of person.
I will need you, while he's doing this, when we start the discussion, to set a timer for 30 minutes for each gentleman that we're going to cover. We don't want to go over. We don't want to bore you guys to tears.
Right.
Actually, we hope you're enjoying this. And if you're joining us from any of the spots we've shared the link to, thank you. If you're listening on audio only, you're missing out. Join us on Tuesday nights and keep downloading. You can listen to us on the way to work or while you're working. Fuck it. Timer. Eddie's still working. See, this is why he's underpaid.
Yeah, I should have sent it to him earlier, but I didn't think that it would come up. I mean, it should have came up, but it was one of those, things that I forgot that he hasn't.
Here we go. Enjoy, folks.
You're
Fan
welcome.
fucking tastic.
You're welcome.
So we come here today to pay homage, depending on what side of the country you come from, two rock legends that died on the same day, 6 hours apart. We're going to start with, obviously, more in the news than anybody else because of the movie Bohemian Rhapsody. Farouk Balsara, otherwise known to you and me legally as Freddie Mercury, born September 5th, 1946, British songwriter, record producer, and best known as the lead singer of Queen, and, in my opinion, the absolute greatest
We should
rock
also
singer of all
throw
time.
in opera singer.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did that Barcelona. Watch Becoming Queen on Amazon through lokiandjabroni.com and our
Which is
affiliate
one
links.
of the reasons why he wanted to obviously incorporate everything that he did. I mean, heck, even if you listen
He's
to
got a 4-octave range. He's
even
just
if you
so
listen
amazing.
to Killer Queen,
Mhm.
I mean, it's everywhere. Queen itself was such a different sound. You knew who Queen was. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was. I think I started listening to Queen, like, say, religiously, probably 10th grade, when I really started realizing who they were. And the funny thing is, you start listening to their songs, and you're like, I know that song.
You know what's ironic? You
I
know
know
what
that
introduced
song.
me to Queen?
It was me.
Junkyard Dog.
I was just about to
Oh,
say
yes,
Junkyard-
yes.
that was my
yes.
introduction. Was
Yes.
hearing Another One Bites the Dust on the
Yeah.
radio.
Because
Yes.
I didn't follow music that closely back then. Then he would come out to Another One Bites the Dust.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's a cool song. And my dad, being like slightly bigoted, would be like, oh, fuck that guy, he's a brother. Like my dad did not care for homosexuals.
Obviously,
Little
or,
did he know, Freddie probably got more pussy than he ever
right, or big black wrestlers, as it sounds like.
Well, you know.
did. He didn't mind them.
Never know.
All right.
You never know.
But yeah, I remember hearing a buddy of mine. His name was Bob Hansen, and he had we always carried around that big 48-pound boombox.
Oh, yeah.
Playing kickball, boombox. Wiffle ball, boombox, and he played Another One Bites the Dust, and it just was like, wow. And that's not even the peak of his vocal range.
Mm-mm.
So, as I grew, and I'd say around 13, 14, I really got hot into music, like you said, about 10th grade, and you start diving into the back catalog. Bohemian Rhapsody really didn't come onto my radar until Wayne's World.
I was going to say, Wayne's
Didn't
World
know.
made it really popular, and then everybody bought the Queen's Greatest Hits
Yep.
because they came out with 1 and 2. There was a blue one, then there was the burgundy one.
Mhm.
And they came
Now
out
there's
with
the
a green
silver
one.
3-disc
Then they
set.
came out
There
with
is
green.
a third one, but the third one isn't that well
Right,
known.
and that's
Yeah.
the green one. That was the green one
Yep.
because we got all 3 of them at that fucking
But
time.
then I realized how much they permeate society because I saw, you remember in this area, we record in Connecticut, guys, if you're out there in Western, wherever you are. Flash Gordon was on Dialing for Dollars on Channel 6.
Yeah.
Remember that shit? 6 from the top. We're going to call you up and you're going to win $106 and all that bullshit. And I heard Queen. It said music by Queen. So you knew all the music was by them. I heard that. And then there was, cripes. What's the hell is the name of the song from Hot Space? Son of a bitch. Radio Gaga.
Oh, yeah.
It was just, it permeates society. You see a movie, there's Queen in it.
Oh, yeah.
Highlander.
They owned Highlander.
Princess of the
that was my
Universe.
point. They owned Highlander.
Highlander
I mean,
solidified it for me.
Absolutely.
Well,
Flash Gordon piqued my interest, but Highlander
well, come on.
solidified
I mean,
it.
Flash is
Yeah, but they scored that whole movie.
The whole
Oh no,
film
no,
was them.
absolutely. But the song Flash Gordon is very gimmicky.
It is.
It's a very gimmicky.
But they don't
song.
pretend it's not.
No,
No.
but that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. But then you go into Highlander, and you have a very dark, sophisticated movie, and you see a very dark, sophisticated sign of freaking Queen from the song "It's a Kind of Magic" to "Who Wants to Live Forever."
Princes of the Universe. That
listen
first
to
line.
Freddie actually sing "Who Wants to Live Forever." That is him
Oh, yeah.
telling you this, man. This isn't
The perfect song.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It lays it out. The Princes of the Universe is always going to be a great freaking song.
I am immortal. I have inside me blood of kings.
It's
I have
he's
no
telling you the
rival. No
movie.
man can be my
He's
equal.
telling you the movie.
Exactly.
What song can do that? What song? What,
I
have
Very
you heard
few.
that?
Very
Exactly.
few.
I think those songs really solidified Freddie Mercury, and I think he did this on purpose because I think he was trying to go for something. Really solidified him as a rock star.
Right.
Like it's like he had all these songs that some of them are poppy, but Highlander is just like, I am a rock star. And
I
I'll
may
show
go.
you.
I may
And
go a
that's,
different
like
angle
I said,
with that.
and that made it. He wrote that song, and it was about that movie. You got songs like the Guns N' Roses one for Terminator 2. That had nothing to do with the movie. Zero to do with the movie.
What, You
If
Could Be Mine?
If
Yeah.
you listen to You Could Be Mine, the only reason why you think of that is because it was iconic with that movie. That's it.
It was a hell of a riff.
You can
though, yeah.
listen, right? No, absolutely. I mean, hell, you even do what is it? Last Action Hero had the one from AC/DC.
Yeah. Oh fuck, I can't remember the name.
But
of the
you know,
damn
I'm sorry,
song.
that there was all these freaking, but none of them ever got ballsy enough to actually give you the plot line and sing about it. That's what
Well,
Queen
let
did,
me ask
man.
you, let me put it this: when's the last time you really heard of a rock band scoring a movie like that?
No, you haven't. That's
Unfortunately,
why I was,
we're going to talk
that's
about
why I
a
went
failed
back-
one when we
that's
talk
why
about
I
our
went back
next
as far
person.
as I did. Last Action Hero,
Who's that,
freaking.
who's that composer? I think he passed away.
Heck, even how about
Kamen.
we can even go as far as
Yes,
saying
Michael Kamen.
'Cause
Armageddon.
Michael Kamen. when-
Armageddon had freaking Aerosmith in it.
Yeah, but they had other
Uh,
bands and.
But I know, but it's very, but
Armageddon's the longest Aerosmith music video I've ever seen.
but it's also associated with
Yeah.
Armageddon. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But there is no mention of a fucking meteor fucking coming to destroy the earth in that song.
No.
There's nothing
No.
in that song.
I could lay awake and hear you breathe
the
and
only reason why
bullshit
you're
gimmick
thinking about that is
Schneebitz
because fucking Homeboy is taking some fucking animal crackers across Liv Tyler's tummy up until the fucking mountain range. That's the only fucking thing you think about that whole fucking movie. buddy.
Well, look at who did Prince. He did all the Batman songs.
That
They
whole first Batman
don't
movie.
really. They don't.
Well, it was
really,
him and Danny Elfman scored it. Prince
Yeah.
did every song
Same
that
idea.
you heard in the
Not-
movie,
there's
like
no- but
song.
They're not really about the movie.
They're not
though,
baddie.
So.
Well,
Except
if
for
you-
Bat Dance.
If
but-
you wait a minute,
Well,
that was just
Party
about the
Man.
movie.
the last one they tried to freaking.
That could be about Joker.
Yeah, you could pull that
blue
one.
and black, red and green.
Then you're even talking 80s, dude.
Yeah,
But that's 80s. I mean,
89.
hell, you're
the
moving
end
up
of
to
the
the 90s.
80s.
he
with
may have still been
Ice-
high on Oxy
with
back
fucking
then.
Vanilla
but-
Ice pulling off the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Oh
Turtles.
Christ!
fucking
See,
Ninja.
Let's go back-
Ninja
let's go back-
rap.
Let's not bring that
let's
up.
go back to the great one known as Freddie Mercury.
Partners in Crime did it better.
You and I introduced my daughter this weekend to perhaps, in my opinion, the greatest Queen song ever written. The Show Must Go On.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, I love that
the
fucking
the
song, man.
if you watch the timeline, this is Freddie basically doing what David Bowie did a few years ago. I'm saying goodbye. I know my time is short. I'm going to give you this song. This is my goodbye letter to the fans.
And this was right after. The "Gotta Break Free."
Got to break free, and I want it all. Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, he has this
And
incredible.
the funny thing
album.
about I want to break free. John Deacon wrote that song.
Who's that?
John Deacon wrote that song,
Oh.
the bassist. But I'm sure that there's a part of him because, the band knew, and I'm sure his family knew before the general public knew that Freddie was sick.
Freddie owned that.
So I'm going to write this song, and I'm going to write it from Freddie's perspective. I'm guessing. I don't know if this is actually true, but I'm going
Right.
to try to get in John Deacon's head. I'm going to write this song from Freddie's point of view. I want to break free. Go back. I'm not going to do it here. Go find the lyrics to that song. Read it. It reads like someone who is the first thing in the video when you see it is Freddie in drag, and he opens up what? The closet.
Exactly.
And
Oh, wow.
it's like you're telling the world, and every band member was in drag. By the way, Roger Taylor is the cutest man chick ever. Ever. I remember watching that video as a teenager going, that chick's pretty. Oh my God, it's Roger Taylor.
That's not cool.
That
So
is
not
non.
cool, man.
Non. non-heinous.
There's definitely no denying that you won't find a band that is more in sync than Queen was.
No, they
You know,
they owned it, and to have a frontman that Freddie Mercury was, he controlled the stage, he controlled the crowd. Then when they made the songs like "We Will Rock You," it was made for Freddie Mercury. Even Brian May, in in the movie, he said it. We need to get
Make the audience
the
a part of
crowd
the show.
more involved, and that's why they did a lot of these songs, and that's why, especially with Freddie. I mean, the guy lived off this crowd. Lived. I mean, it was when he came back. I mean, if you watch, I mean, obviously, just the movie. If you go on YouTube and you watch that when he's behind stage and getting pumped up, you can see it. He's
feeling
gyrating. He just absorbing all this energy. You can tell he's just feeling all this energy, and then he doesn't keep an ounce to himself, man. Not an ounce.
he never misses a beat.
And that's a
either.
fantastic point because he doesn't. He gives everything.
Everything right back, dude. Everything. He's on the floor, and that's what you
I
get
would
from him.
pay to see after-hours footage of a Queen concert and him going back to the dressing room just because he gave it
Just
all
done,
to
dude.
the people.
When they said you're nowhere next to Freddie Mercury's worst, dude. That is like because his worst was incredible.
Oh, without question.
What's his name? John Deacon's a drummer, right?
He's the bassist.
Who's the
Roger
drummer?
Taylor.
Roger Taylor.
So just imagine being Roger Taylor and just like I'm going to play these drums, I'm going to do all this percussion, and Freddie is not going to stop moving.
No,
it's like if he drops dead, it's my fault. It's like can you imagine just being a part of something that great though? It's just
that's not only great, and you could tell. And this was the one thing, and I tell people all the time with this movie, I love the way that they kept the family aspect of it true. Yes, we know Freddie Mercury was a dark person. Yes, we know he died, and they throw a little bit in there, but they save a face for the same reason. That they wanted to symbolize how much of a family that these guys were.
Mm-hmm.
That no matter what they went through, even the heartaches and the bullshit that they made him through.
Mm-hmm.
Even Roger Taylor was like, just wait 5 more minutes.
Yep.
I just
make him sweat.
I just
and in that
sweat.
documentary, Becoming Queen, they reference that Brian May and Roger Taylor both. It's like we knew going in, if Freddie said I want in, he's in, because without him, there's no us,
there is
and
no
we
us,
say
right.
that a lot. You can't have the Jabroni Show. There's a certain dynamic. I'm not saying we're Queen. Please don't get us wrong.
Right.
But there's a certain dynamic that the four of them had, and if you listen to Mr. Bad Guy, that album, horrible, hot Burger King garbage. Yes. But he comes back, they get back together, they put out 4 incredible records after that.
The last one before he passed was
Innuendo.
I mean,
I love that album.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody talks about it, but I thought
that's what I was just about to say. It's one of I think one of their fucking best, man.
I would have referenced The Miracle because that was the first Queen video, other than Flash Gordon, which is bullshit, that I ever saw.
Yeah, that was a hokey video too.
It was, but I want it all, and they're all in shirts and ties, and I'm like, this is so not rock and roll. Now you got to remember that's 1987.
Mm-hmm.
Now fast forward to 2 weeks ago when I saw the film. We watched the documentaries, and I've been binging on Queen videos like nobody's business. And I see the video now, I'm like, that's so rock and roll. You're gonna go against. Don't get in the leather and the chaps and the studs and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Shirts and ties all the way around. That's rock and roll.
Well, don't forget the Beatles pulled that shit
nobody
too.
expects you to do. The Beatles were bullshit.
Yeah, but the Beatles pulled
except for Lennon and McCartney. The rest of them can kiss a dick.
Whoa, I love Harrison.
I know, me too. But together, I don't think they're that much. Separately, I love them all. But as the Beatles, fuck them. Wow, fuck them. I hate the Beatles.
Agree to disagree.
That's fine, and
there
that's
it
what we're
is.
here for.
It's a good thing we're not talking about them today.
The best thing and they reference it in the film and in all the documentaries, is that he was born with the extra teeth.
Yeah.
And it gave the voice, that voice that we all love.
Well, it's funny. Somebody actually posted. It was Strikers. Is this the next Freddie Mercury? There's actually videos on YouTube how to sing like Freddie Mercury. Motherfuckers, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rule number 1, try. Rule number 2, sit down.
You can't.
First of all, if you're gonna try to be someone else, you already failed.
Well, look,
let's put that
Right.
aside.
I'll agree with that because right now Queen tours with Adam Lambert of
which
what is
was
it, American Idol,
American Idol, and I'll
and
tell
he does
you
a
what,
fantastic job.
he does a great job,
But
He
he's
does
not
a
Freddie
great-
fucking
but
Mercury.
He's not Freddie Mercury, no. And there are certain ways that he sang that you're never going to be able to replicate. No matter how much you
and
try.
they know that. That's why it's never billed
There's
as
certain
Queen.
bait-
It's
Right.
billed as Queen with.
Look,
with,
look at it
right.
like this. Well, they did that with Paul Rogers too, but Paul Rogers couldn't even touch. And I
No.
love Paul Rogers. Bad Company is one of my favorite
Oh,
classic
God,
bands
yes.
of all time.
Yes.
But Paul Rogers can't do what Adam Lambert can do.
No.
The problem
No.
with that is Adam Lambert can't do what Freddie Mercury could do. Just the range. He could do the rock. He could do the operatic. He could do the ballad. He could do everything, and
Do
you
you
were
guys
never
remember,
bored with it.
Do you remember?
And he could do the poppy stuff too. Like,
Do you remember
Yeah.
the? Do you remember the
could be
tribute
corny.
to Freddie Mercury?
Yeah,
God,
And do you
yeah.
remember the Elton John,
Elton
Axl
John and
Rose?
George Michael. Oh,
No.
Axl Rose. I remember
Axl
that.
Rose
Eh.
did Bohemian
Can we
Rhapsody.
not talk about that?
Oh my God, that's what's just my point of how people think that they can do
And-
something. When Elton John first started doing the whole Bohemian Rhapsody part of it, and
That was
and-
horrible.
dude, the crowd was singing higher than he
Mhm.
was, and you could tell.
The only-
Mama
Yeah,
just killed a man.
The only
it-
person that
but-
came
yeah.
close, and I'm saying that's when I say close, you're like, this is close, and way up here
Yeah.
is Freddie Mercury. George Michael was the only one
No,
that
he did-
came anywhere close.
he did a great job. He did a great job.
They cut a CD with him, so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well,
But I didn't.
obviously.
I actually didn't like George Michael with Queen. But that was,
Eh.
I know I was in the.
It was an
minority.
attempt. It was an attempt.
I liked Seal with Queen.
Well, the idea is
Um,
to obviously, Queen is.
Just pay tribute in that, and I get
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
I
I
mean
mean-
I was glued to that concert.
Dude, you got to give Queen fucking mad props.
Oh, yeah.
they were out there for every fucking song, for fuck's sake,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah. It'd be
it
like
was like open mic night. With
it would be
Queen.
like somebody recording a Motorhead tribute. There is no Motorhead without Lemmy, and there, in my opinion, you can tour with Adam Lambert, and the band will
Oh, yeah.
sound the same. But there is no Queen as a whole
No.
without Freddie Mercury.
And not to mention, it's Adam Lambert. He's no front man. He's got a hell of a voice.
He's got some style, he's got some grace, he's got some panache, but he's not.
He's not
Look,
jumping
there-
around.
there's
there
very
like,
few front men, and I'm glad you brought that up. There are very few front. I don't even, as much as Paul Stanley is a hell of a showman, I don't consider him one of those dynamic frontmen.
No, he's no
Axl
Axl Rose. Axl
Rose, Robert
um,
Plant. I would throw Bret Michaels only because I've seen Poison
I've
about
seen
15
I was gonna
times.
say on a good crack night, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's all over the fucking
Fair
place.
enough.
What's fucking Rolling Stones?
Mick Jagger.
Mick all over the place. He's another
Mhm.
one of those
That's what I'm saying,
guys.
it's got to be the whole package.
But yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
you
That's a
know?
good
If you're gonna say
front
a great
man.
front man, yeah, like Steve Perry. I like him as a singer.
Steve Perry.
I wouldn't call him.
That's how he is. That's what I feel about Steve Perry.
I wouldn't.
He's
I
in the
wouldn't
house
call him
tonight.
the greatest front man though.
No, because I
Great
totally.
vocalist.
He's
You ever watch
incredible.
those old Journey videos?
He's
Yeah.
It's
incredible.
just him in a shirt and sneakers and
Yeah.
jeans, and there he is.
That's all.
But
of them.
when Freddie Mercury does that, because he's so flamboyant, every other time he shows up, Live Aid, wife beater, jeans, white sneakers, people are like,
Don't
"That's
forget about
fucking
the-
right." And the studded,
the studded
yeah,
arm. Yeah,
that's
armlets.
rock and roll.
Come on, man. That's how you rock that shit.
The talk is that the greatest performance Queen ever put on was Live Aid in '85,
Yes.
and I can't necessarily, because in preparing for this and knowing what this anniversary was, I binged watched Queen
Wembley?
live. I watched Live Aid. I've probably watched 12 times in the last week and a half. But watching Queen live and you see the different costumes, it's a lot like Elton John.
Oh yeah.
You can't be from England and be rock and roll without Elton
Except for
John
Brian May.
influence.
Brian May wore the same
Brian
white
May,
shirt.
If
the
Brian
same
May
black
dyed his hair,
pants.
if Brian May dyed his hair tomorrow, he'd look like Brian May 1981.
Yes.
Brian May's like all business. I noticed. He's one of those. Is like he plays guitar. He's all business.
He is,
Occasionally
man.
he sings,
Mhm.
but
Nope, he's.
Yeah.
I'm the guitarist. That's what I do. I jam out.
incredible songwriter, great guitarist.
Yep, they say it in the film, they say it in the documentary, and they say it in every book you'll ever read about Queen. They couldn't have done it without each other.
No, exactly.
There was just there was a chemistry, and they were one of the few bands. Even the Rolling Stones can't say this. Led Zeppelin can't say it. The Stones can't say it. Kiss can't say it. Poison can to an extent because there was a 4-year period, but now you got to disqualify them. One of the few bands that were the same lineup from first album
Yes.
to last album.
And you guys have also got to understand. I mean, I understand there's probably I don't think David Lee Roth would be one of these people that suffer from it. I'm going to throw out Bret Michaels is probably not one of these people that suffer from it. But I don't think people realize how much Freddie Mercury was insecure and how insecure he actually was.
You can tell by watching interviews.
So, right, but when he got out there, when he was out on that stage, all his insecurities were gone. Everything was out the door, and the only thing that he gave a fuck about was putting on a show for you, for the people watching. That's all he cared about. That says something about a person like that.
Well,
when you walk through, I mean, even they say
there's Freddie the person that goes home, watches sports, whatever. There's Freddie the performer, you know, and you do become a different person.
It's the same thing.
Used to happen when I was DJing.
Same thing with freaking with Robin Williams. You know, he's this incredible genius, but you don't know what the fuck he's feeling on the inside. You don't know what he's going through. And Freddie Mercury was a very dark person. He was a very dark soul. He hid a lot of things from a lot of people. He was used by a lot of people that he thought he could trust.
You know what's heartbreaking? Like, if you go on YouTube after he died, and you watch some of the interviews that Brian May and Taylor and them did, and they're like defending him, because there were a lot of people said horrible things. Oh, fuck
yeah.
Freddie.
Yes.
You know, and Freddie's not
and
perfect.
Well, don't forget about it. And back then, it was that's major
it was
taboo
shocking.
back then. Yes,
it was shocking, and it was like one of those things. Like, we all knew.
Yeah,
we all knew, but there were some people who were in denial.
Yes,
that's what I noticed. People got most angry about it. The people in denial, like,
that
were like,
no, he's not like that. He's not like that at all. You could tell that, you know, like they got to a time when all their interviews started off with the same question, and it was about Freddie's sexuality, and he was getting sick of it, which is why 9 times out of 10 he'd go to those interviews fucked up. And then people were like, "Oh, this is just his life." He's
and what was the
all
question
the
he
time.
asked back? Don't you want to talk about the new music?
Right, exactly. Yeah. He always wanted to talk about music when he went to these things. Whenever it came around, it always went back to his sexuality, and he didn't want to talk about his sexuality.
He wasn't like an activist or anything like that.
No, exactly. No,
he wanted to keep it quiet.
Right,
he just wanted to give the fans exactly what they paid for, which was his
behind
best.
Closed doors. He gave you hints. He changed his hair.
Mm-hmm.
He looked just like the guys that he would fuck, for crying out loud. He was very...
That's what I'm saying. It's like we all kind of knew.
Right, exactly.
Well, wait. I want to reference that for a minute, because being, you know, rock and roll and heavy metal, I should have looked at 15, 16 years old when you look at the Village People and said, okay, there's something wrong with Rob Halford. Not something wrong, but in the 80s, that's what you would say. There's something wrong with Rob Halford. Rob Halford was giving you every hint in the world, as was Freddie Mercury.
Yes.
From the stage outfits to the videos to some. Now, when you look back, here we are. He died 27 years ago. Go back 30 years ago to the lyrics. He's giving you every hint in the world.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And we didn't see it.
Absolutely.
And if we did see it, we thought, but we weren't sure.
Between little things he would say at interviews, and you know, it's just like, I knew, it's like, oh, this guy's at least, like, because David Bowie never hit anything. I was like, this guy's at least on the same level as David Bowie, so he's at least bisexual, which I guess he was.
Well, the rumor about Bowie was Jagger.
The only thing is, and you got to also remember,
unconfirmed.
Though, he goes out and makes... Freddie Mercury makes 2 single albums by himself. Both trash. He only has that one good song. No, they were both trash.
The Great Pretender was the only good, and that's a remake.
Exactly.
Because that dynamic's not there.
No, exactly. And he realized it. He went for the one thing. He went for money. He went for the ultimate payoff. And he in that time, he lost heart and he lost family. And he learned his lesson. A lot of people never get to learn that lesson. Look at Axl Rose. Axl Rose had the world. No, you all you want.
I'm with
him.
No,
I'm laughing because I agree with you.
He owned the fucking 90s. He could have owned the 2000s.
Late 80s, early to mid 90s.
If he fucking would have been fucking smart about what the fuck he was gonna be the next fucking.
You know what's bad?
No, not the next.
What, you know what?
He
could have been the next big vocalist. When you look at a band full of drug addicts, and no offense, look, we've all had our problems, and if you've never had problems, you're a lucky person. When you look at a band that had so many drug problems, that the one that took the least drugs was the most egotistical and ruined it for everybody else. Whereas the smart ones like Duff McKagan and Slash, who were hired and shit all the time, figured it out. They figured it out.
That's what helped them. They were like, Duff, what do you think about it? Cleveland.
Cleveland. What day is it? Tomorrow. Fuck it.
Taco.
In being a Queen fan as long as I have been, loving the music and seeing the film recently, which kind of brought it all home, I was able to share my love for this rock and roll. I'm a rock guy, whether it's metal, pop rock, glam metal, whatever. Love me some rock and roll. I was able to share it with the Eternal Flame and the Goddess of Love, who has now, like anything Freddie Mercury, she's all about. She'll read an article. We watched the documentaries together.
Right.
2 hours. We left the theater, came home, had something to eat. We looked up. I said, hey, I found a Freddie Mercury documentary. She goes, great, I found one too. And we watched 2 documentaries 3 hours after we left the film. 3 hours of documentaries after we just spent 2.5 hours watching a movie about Freddie Mercury.
That's the best way to do it, because then you get the realism that it was. People got to understand, when you go to see it, when you watch a documentary, you are getting the real truth. They actually did their homework.
They had Jim Hutton. They had Roger Taylor, Brian May.
Yes.
My favorite one in the Becoming Queen documentary, he was the first one to speak, was Miami Beach. Jim Beach. And it said Jim Miami Beach. And I was like, yes, thank you. He still embraces that nickname, much like we embrace our nicknames.
Well, it's just, it was given to him from a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Real knows real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Real begets real. And that's exactly what Freddie Mercury was. And that's what he brought to his fans. And that's what he brought to the table.
When I left the room, and I kind of wanted to break this out, is you guys were talking about how the stage Freddie and the life Freddie were different. They kind of blended for a while because he was trying to be Freddie all the time instead of just being Freddie. In the documentary, Jim Hutton, his longtime love until his death, and Mary Adams was in the documentary, and she aged well. She doesn't look like a haggard old lady. She looks pretty good for 60, almost 70 years old. Said as much as people loved him, as much as there were people around him, Freddie Mercury was the loneliest human being on the planet for a good span of about 4 years. You could have.
I give more than that, man. I think.
Well,
I think
the
even
time
when he
from
was
the Ego, the 2 albums, and then once he found out about his disease, which
you got to also remember. Think about it this way, okay? Now he was solo for 4 years.
3 by my count, if I'm doing my math right. But
Well, they
going
all
on
tried their solo
right.
projects at one
Yeah.
time,
It was all when he decided to
the
go
only
do it,
successful
you know
one was
what I'm saying?
Brian May
Because he's Brian
fucking
May.
exactly.
Well,
See?
Brian was like producing too. Wasn't
Yeah.
he? He was, like producing other people's
Yes.
stuff.
Brian fucking
Brian
May.
fucking May.
But
That's your name from now on, Brian.
Brian
if you're listening.
fucking May, and that's a good Brian.
It's
fucking
going to
May.
take him about 3 years to get to that point. So you're doing good with your people. You know what I'm saying? But then you have these other people that are introducing into your life, and then you start second guessing yourself. You start second guessing your family. That doesn't happen overnight, man. That takes time. You know what I'm saying? So he is mentally breaking himself down over the years until he gets to that point where he's like, I can't do this anymore,
Same
guys.
as the documentary said, and I'm not sure how the movie. I remember the movie. We just watched it again the other night. He says, I need you. When he had the meeting with the band, but he says, but you also need me. But it takes him to say that first line, I need you.
Right.
But you need me. And he admits, we are a family. We're the misfits that shouldn't go together, giving the misfits out there what they need and what they want.
Yeah, they're giving him their freaking.
Just a correction. Freddie's only got 2 solo albums.
Yes, Mr. Bad Guy and
Yeah, that's what we said. I said.
I thought you said 4.
No, I
No,
said he was
4
solo
years
for
between.
4 years.
Oh, gotcha.
4 years.
I think it was 3, but he might be right. He's probably correct.
One was released in 85 and 88, but he might have toured for Barcelona. Well, Barcelona's the opera one.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not sure I count that one.
It actually went platinum, so I'm not going to say that one.
After his death.
Yeah, probably.
It's mentioned in Becoming
No,
Queen,
yeah,
the documentary,
yeah, I know.
because
But I know-
the opera singer
Nobody.
has a huge part in that documentary. Please watch the documentary, Becoming Queen.
Mhm.
What a fantastic.
I don't know why I
Oh.
love this cover. Like, you folks can't see it, but he's got the tuxedo suit and
Oh, yeah.
vest on, and it's like I don't know. I like that Freddie, the smooth criminal Freddie. I like
to
that.
listen to some of that Barcelona stuff on that documentary
The
was
thing
just
is, you can hear
floored.
how hurt he was in that
True,
music.
but
You
at the
could
same
hear
time, how much he
lonely
loved
was.
that music.
Oh, he loved opera, absolutely. That's why it was so much involved in Queen.
Hello, Mark. Thank you for joining us.
That's-
Previously mentioned Marcus Arju's here.
Actually, I'm a little disappointed because they re-released Barcelona in 2012 and they completely changed the cover. I object.
No.
Well, they
Yeah,
probably
It just says Barcelona and it's got like this weird stitchy pattern.
yeah.
Well, and a
the
year-
reason why is because you can't throw his face on there now because people are going to be freaked out. I mean, heck,
Why?
yeah. They didn't even know who the fuck Paul McCartney was when he came out. What was that, like only
Kanye
5
West
years
and-
ago?
Oh, the new artist
Come
Kanye
on,
broke.
dude. They do the same thing. They'd be like, "Who the hell is this old guy, man?"
No. What they
Oh.
said is, I love it when Kanye,
Kanye
breaks
breaks a new artist.
Right.
It's like, bitch, please. Paul McCartney was making platinum albums before you were tickling your daddy's nuts.
They did. He brought Paul McCartney back.
Paul
Thank you.
McCartney is probably the reason
I
you
wish
were
I-
conceived.
Can you give us her name? I know you just looked up
yeah, I
Barcelona,
got her.
but watch the interview with her is so heartfelt. She's like, I connected with him. We became
Oh.
great friends until the day he died. He called me weekly, and she was just amazed at
I'm-
how awesome he was.
I'm gonna say this wrong because my Italian isn't that great, but Monserrat
Montserrat is
Cabelle.
correct.
Cabelle, Caball.
Caballé.
Yeah,
Montserrat Caballé.
Montserrat,
Thank you.
yes.
I remember
Okay.
it now. Thank you,
I'm-
thank you,
I'm
and
Go
thank you.
outside.
I'm Italian, but I'm really bad at like pronouncing.
I'm
the
Italian,
names.
and all I can pronounce is the shit at fucking Olive Garden.
I just recently discovered spaghetti and meatballs isn't really Italian.
Yep, that's true.
It's an American thing.
Totally true.
Doesn't matter. The sauce.
Look
comes
up Italian grandmothers try Olive Garden.
No, it's hysterical.
from. How long do we got on
It's
Fred?
hysterical. You got 1:40.
Give us 5 more minutes because I have a question I want to ask the panel, and I know Ed's going to take at
We
least
can do
4
final
minutes.
thoughts.
You can't.
All right,
you
we'll do
can't,
final
You can't
thoughts.
take away from Carr.
I don't want to
Come
take
on,
away.
man.
I don't want to take away from Eric Carr, but at the same
It's
time,
only 8:00, so just
You'll be surprised.
close it out. He's your favorite singer. He's the guy. He's one of the things we learned about each other as we've done this whole fucking gimmick.
I think Freddie symbolizes a lot about everybody. There's you have vulnerable spots, you have weaknesses. You have to learn to accept both these things to become something more. If you take in as much as he took in, you can expect to have the same things happen. I mean, yes, success brings you down a whole other path, sort of say. But at the end of the day, we're all human. We all feel the same feelings, and I think Freddie said it best. And whether they embellished it for the movie or not, but when he said, "Family isn't just about blood; it's about who makes you feel at home
Amen.
when you're there." And I think that's what he symbolizes the most. Is he shows you what family truly means.
Absolutely. Well said. Around the table, I already know our answers, but we'll start with Ed. Favorite Queen song, just to close it out.
my favorite Queen song.
Yeah.
It's funny because I got different Queen songs for different
I know.
situations.
You can pick- You can have.
You know what? But that's
Very
that's
true.
that's
Very
just
true.
an example of a great artist.
Exactly.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
You can have
But-
only 2. I might. You know what? For you, I'll extend it to 3.
Tell you what, I'll summarize this perfectly, and this is what Freddie Mercury and Queen in general meant to me. So, if you were a loser, they made you feel good about yourself. Revenge of the Nerds, We Are the Champions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you were, if you lived in this fantastic life, you had Highlander, and if I had to take 2 songs though, I would say the best ones is going to be Who Wants to Live Forever,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, Days of Our Lives is.
Oh,
that's a good one.
fantastic.
Good one.
You know what? Watching that video, you can't watch it without getting choked up. Especially like when you first saw it, we still didn't really know. And then when you saw that would happen, then you're just like, oh, we had to film it from the head up and everything, and it was just like, okay, he knew he was dying, and he still got up and he did this music video, and then you're like, wow, he did that for me.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he didn't have to do the music video.
He sure the fuck didn't do it for himself.
Yeah,
No.
The pain that guy was going through at that point, man.
I can't imagine a single record executive was like, Freddie, you need to sell this
Yeah.
album. They were probably just like,
Thank
this
you
is the,
for this
This is the
album.
last album.
This
We're-
could be, or
Yeah.
it will be, or whatever.
you know,
yeah.
obviously Brian May and crew went on to do more together, but
Right.
this is Freddie's last thing. So it's like, I think those songs, it's like Who Wants to Live Forever, and then that last song, Days of Our Lives, we're not gonna live forever.
Yeah.
And your memories are all you have.
Right.
I'm
right.
getting choked up.
Nor should you. I'll let you close because this is your guy. I'm gonna start, and I already know we're gonna repeat, but the show must go on. Easily my number one. It just encapsulates everything about life, and nobody knew. The general public didn't know that he was on his way out. But when you hear that song, you're like, yeah, you're right. Doesn't matter what happens to me. Everything goes on. I can be who I want to be when it's all over. The show must go on. And it stuck with me for all these years. It just sucks that was his last recorded. Well, that was the last album he made with the intention of putting it out, and then they brought out the Made in Heaven album, which was outtakes and old stuff. Man, if I had to pick a second, I have to go with Princess of the Universe. It drives you. It's one of those songs you could work out to. It's a song that if you're angry and you listen to it, you turn it up real loud, it cleanses your soul. So those would be my two choices. Would be The Show Must Go On and Princess of the Universe.
That's a great song if you play Dungeons and Dragons too.
I can imagine. He'd probably make
He
a
did it.
soundtrack.
Oh,
He done it.
Totally did.
Nice.
Gotta go. Show must go on. The freaking. I love that song.
It is a great
Always
song.
love that song.
I'm sorry
man.
I butchered that song 2 years ago on your birthday.
Don't. It's still one of my favorites. I don't care.
Hey, you sang it. Show must go on.
Exactly.
The show must go on.
You sang it. Who else could say that, buddy?
You know what? You know what though? I'm no Freddie Mercury.
Hey, I'll never. Just real quick off the side. I'll never forget the time Rob. All right, we all know Rob. Rob was telling me one day he was going to practice, and this has nothing to do with Freddie, but it has to do with the freaking not Goo Goo Dolls, but the dude from The Voice there, Adam
Levine.
Levine.
Adam Levine.
His group there.
Maroon 5.
Maroon 5 is that slow
Harder
song.
to breathe. Oh,
Nope.
This Love.
No, the really slow one.
That's the only two I know.
Beauty Queen of Only 18.
Nope. I only know two.
So anyways, it's a really, really slow song. So he's got these high points, and it's got these low points. Rob's like, I got this, dude. I got this. And I'm like,
You ain't got shit.
I was like, you sure, dude? That's a high song, man. And I'll never forget. He's getting to the point because he gets to the point where he goes, and she will be loved. Yeah.
Okay, now I know
but
it.
it's nowhere next to what I just did. I mean, it is. And he goes, and they went, and dude, he just handed me the microphone.
He went Lemmy.
You know what?
At least you went through with it.
Right? He went
gotta
Lemmy.
say.
If you like to gamble.
And I gotta go real quick though before you go. My last song is Killer Queen.
Amen. Great song.
Just because that line, laser beam.
It is. Yes, I
Mhm.
told you that, man. That drove Brandon crazy too.
All right.
I gotta say, like, and it's sad that he's gone, especially because back then, when you think about it, music was so segregated.
Mhm.
It's like there was rock and roll,
Yes.
there was rap,
Yes.
there was pop, and you stayed in your lane.
Yes.
What Freddie could have done today?
Oh, without question.
Could you
Great
imagine
point.
Freddie coming out with
Good
Rihanna,
point, man.
Freddie coming out with all these,
Oh,
or even Adam Levine.
You know,
I'll put him in the top
Trust
10.
me, there would have been no
He's
Paul.
not Freddie, but
there
I'll
would have
put him
been
in
no
the top
Paul
10.
McCartney with fucking
Could
Kanye.
you have imagined? And I'm only saying this because of the octave range. Freddie Mercury, Mariah Carey.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Freddie Mercury,
I think
Jeff
he would
Tate.
demand it. I think
Both of
Freddie
them.
would have demanded it.
Freddie Mercury and Mariah.
Dude.
Freddie Mercury and Jeff Tate. Oh my God.
I'll even say Freddie probably.
And the funny thing is,
probably would have called Kanye West and say, "Let's do something."
Right? I could see Freddie Mercury
the
instead of
funny
Ronnie
thing
James
is-
Dio being on Mindcrime 2.
I could see him walking in with Jeff Tate and being like, "There's only one drama queen here, bitch."
Could you have seen? Okay.
And Jeff Tate be like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
Special one-time concert. Imagine in your head, before your head explodes, Freddie Mercury doing Silent Lucidity.
Oh, he'd blow it out the
Oh,
door,
my
dude.
God.
He'd blow it out the door. It
Fucking
was
amazing.
All right, so let's you introduce your man.
All right. He was born July 12th, 1951 in Brooklyn, New York. Born Paul Charles Caravello, better known by his stage name Eric Carr. Played in many Brooklyn, New York bands, some disco, some rock.
Not the football player
Some pop.
family.
No. But sometime in mid-1980, he auditioned for a particular band called Kiss. And
I've heard of them.
You may have. I hear they're retiring. I'm not quite sure. Again, yes.
That trick never works.
But I gotta have the distinct feeling. We'll talk about this later on. That this is gonna be it. Age.
Yeah.
18 years ago, they weren't ready to retire. Assumed the nickname the stage name Eric Carr, and pretty much gave a kick in the ass to that band. And I'm a huge Kiss fan from the first time I heard them in 1977 to this day. And he really did. He brought a power and a thunder that, as much as I dig Peter Criss just did not deliver on the drums like Eric Carr did. And I play the drums. I appreciate Peter Criss. I appreciate guys. If there's a top 3 in drums in no particular order, there's Vinnie Paul, there's Neil Peart, and there's Eric Carr. And you can interchange them 1 to 3. The 3 best of all time.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm looking at the discography now, and he's co-wrote songs with Bryan Adams.
Absolutely, I'll talk about that.
Fraley's Comet.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy O. Williams.
Yep.
Don't Leave Me Lonely by Bryan Adams. He wrote that.
Fantastic song. Yeah. If you've never heard it, please go out and find it.
And the crazy thing is, if you ever, and I was one of those guys that really did like Bryan Adams. I'm not going to joke. Like, I did.
He did. So did I until...
I've seen him.
Until, what was it? Everything I Do for You. I was out.
Oh, no. He played the fuck out of
I'm
that.
sure he did, but I thought his career ended with I Thought I Died and Gone to Heaven. That was the ultimate Bryan Adams thing.
That song in the movie got overplayed, but the album that came with it was pretty good.
No, it was.
Yeah, because you know what was on it? Thought I Died and Gone to Heaven.
The thing that killed it for him was that Will You Ever Really Love a Woman? Like,
the Robin Hood guy.
Don Juan DeMarco.
Oh, God.
No, it was Don Juan DeMarco.
Yeah.
Was it Don? That's right.
Yes.
You're right. That was 94.
That Rod Stewart, Sting, Bryan Adams, Smoker's Hack song.
That was horrible, dude.
Check it out. I think that's Have You Really Loved a Woman?
No, it's not.
Yeah, Have You Really?
No, Bryan Adams did that by himself. You're thinking of All for One, One for All.
You're right.
We've talked about this before,
Thank you. We did.
Yes. But my point being is, the cool thing about the CDs, now hold on to your breath, kids. You'd open up this CD and it'd have this little pamphlet and this booklet, and you could literally look at pictures of the artist and of the band, and then they'd have the songs, and they had who wrote it, and he would even give props to a lot of these people, and that's how you learned.
Eric Carr probably got paid a shit ton of money.
That's how you learned about some of these guys. And then you turn around, you're like, well, who is this guy? And then you're like, oh my God, that's the drummer from Kiss?
Yup.
What? And then you look him up, and then you start listening to their stuff. So back in the day, we didn't have the internet, but we had this great thing, and it was called word of mouth. No, word of mouth, man. These guys would tell you who to listen to. I mean, we had, obviously, Ricky Rackman. He was the voice of rock.
Hey, so look, I'd take him over Adam Curry any day.
You're right. You're right about that.
But Adam Curry invented podcasts, so we'll leave him alone.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. He's still
actually. It's funny around that age when you really start going past the singer, and when you learn that Elvis never wrote his songs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
we settled that he wrote about 4% of his songs.
Anyway, so he never wrote his songs. And
we settled that he wrote 4% of his songs.
But then you started following producers and writers and stuff. It's like, I wonder what they're gonna work on next. And I actually start looking for that now.
Yes.
Like Fergie from Black Eyed Peas.
Yes.
Well, she had
Kids Incorporated.
Before she was in Black Eyed Peas, she was in a group called
Kids Incorporated.
Wild Orchid.
No, Wild Orchid.
Yes.
And
the Ayatollah of rock and roll lives on.
Exactly. And which first album, great. Second one,
yes,
shit.
It was.
I can listen to that whole album.
I'm sorry you heard that.
But I look, and
I
sure
imagine
enough,
it's a lot like
the
Samantha Fox.
Yeah,
pretty much.
The only ballad on that album is written by one of the members of Wild Orchid, who ironically was also a member of Kids Incorporated. So,
Fergie.
Surprise, surprise.
So she writes.
So is Martika.
You're killing me right now.
So is Martika.
Right.
Yeah. So. Something like with Eric Carr, it looks like he's got a big catalog of.
He certainly does. His only recorded lead vocal with Kiss is Little Caesar on 1989's Hot in the Shade, but later on, all of his pre-recorded stuff that he had that he would give to the band came out as an album called Rockology,
which is weird because
two solo
they
albums.
Actually they had a little bit more singing from their drummers later on, didn't they?
Not really. The 2 albums they've put out with Eric Singer, he's had 1 song on each, and it took 18 years to get there.
Okay,
so
it's about the same.
But he would sing live every single concert.
Right.
Rockology, drums, lead and backing vocals,
Mhm.
keyboards, bass, acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
The album that I have here that I'm going to raise up in just a minute when I describe how his tenure in Kiss started out poorly, we'll get to that. But he was dicking around on a guitar in the studio. And Gene Simmons actually says to him, it's in the book History. You know, what are you playing? Oh, just something I'm noodling around with. You play guitar? Yeah, I kind of do play guitar. Record that riff. I'm going to use that riff. He's known as a drummer, but like you said, there's so many facets to him. Creatures of the Night, 1982, one of the best Eric Carr Kiss albums. He plays the bass on one of their more famous songs, I Still Love You. Fantastic bass line. That's Eric Carr. It's not Gene Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
When you see them live, it's Gene Simmons. When you hear the record, that's Eric Carr.
Yeah.
Multifaceted. He played in disco bands. He played in punk bands, rock bands, what have you.
I think a lot of drummers really. I mean, I know Phil Collins is one of those. I know obviously freaking Prince, one of them. David Grohl is one of them.
Oh, Dave Grohl, yeah.
You want to know how the other instruments at least work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially being a drummer, that's so important. You're the rhythm of the band. You're what's keeping this band right down the line, man. So they don't fucking.
Let's keep it real. You got to be able to communicate with the lead guitarist.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you're the keyboardist, you know, like Jonathan Cain from Journey also plays guitar.
Yep.
Right.
So you got to be able to communicate with the lead guitarist if you're going to compose.
Which is
a
why,
song.
and if you guys know the same thing, Axl Rose, before he even came on, he didn't do anything with guitar, and they
Right.
got him playing guitar pretty fucking quick. You know what I'm
'cause
saying?
if you're going to write lyrics, you should at least know how to play bass. You need to at least
Vince
play
Neil
bass.
didn't know shit about instruments
No.
until probably 4 albums into Motley Crue, and he took those 4 albums, was it 8 years, to learn about playing the guitar. And then he would play more and more and more. So I get that.
Right. I
But-
think it was even, wasn't it the lead singer of fucking Damn Yankees, the same thing? He couldn't do a fucking damn thing.
No. That was Tommy Shaw. He was an amazing
Oh,
guitarist
that's right.
for
No.
Styx.
Oh, there was only 3 in that. That's right. There was
4. Tommy Shaw, Jack Blades, Ted Nugent, and it's Michael something or other, Castra Italian name Jones.
Oh, you're yes. Okay, yep.
Sorry, Ayatollah Rock and Roll has to rear his
Yep.
ugly head again. Look, he comes in. Eric Carr comes into this band from obscurity. Nobody knows him. He's repairing stoves for a living, getting cockroaches in his hair, playing in top 40 bullshit bands. I think the last one was called Flasher. And
So what makes him? I mean, was always a drummer?
yes, from the time he was about 7 years old. If I have a book upstairs about Eric Carr, and saw a drum set in the window, and his parents weren't well off.
Right.
I'd love that drum set. So the father says, okay. His father delivered furniture for a living and stoves and whatnot. Worked for like a furniture appliance store. Okay, you come with me. You help me deliver the stuff. You keep the tips. And when you make enough, you can buy that drum set. Little 3-piece bullshit, whatever. He did it. He wanted it. He got it.
You want it, exactly.
Oh, it was just... And somewhere out there on a record called Unfinished Business, I'm sure Eddie can find it. Go to Amazon.com through Loki and Jabroni.com. Find Unfinished Business and just listen. There's 2 songs from a band he had in the early 60s with his friends. They were about 12, 13 years old. And they sound very Beatle-esque because, Christ, every kid in the 60s loved the Beatles.
Yeah.
And he's singing. And he
Monkeys.
sounds very John Lennon-esque. He really does. But
He
as
likes the Monkeys more than he likes the Beatles.
Who, me?
Yeah, just throwing it out there.
Not really. Other than the later stuff.
You're always
When I
talking
saw
about
your face.
Now I'm a believer.
Fuck them. I told that joke a few weeks ago.
Exactly.
It's been 1 week since I told that joke. Had to
So
give
it's good.
Eddie a little C&J
So it's good.
gimmick going.
As long as it's a week, you're fine.
But the problem I had with Eric Carr joining Kiss, he joins after the Unmasked album, which is what I would call Kiss power pop.
Mhm.
Very cheesy.
Everybody was,
I
though.
know, but it hurt my
what,
feelings.
in the 80s?
Yeah,
Oh, God, yeah.
80s power pop.
You
They
didn't
just-
know.
They
didn't
came
know
off.
what the
I
fuck
was
they
made
were
for
doing,
love.
dude.
Exactly.
They didn't know I don't think anybody knew what the fuck they were doing. Kiss goes in there and they're taking off their fucking makeup.
Well, they still
then
had it
we-
on at the time.
Well, I know, but I mean, but heading into like the later '80s shit, you know, they're taking off their makeup, and everybody else is throwing on pounds of fucking
That's what
makeup.
Exactly.
I was gonna say. I don't fault Kiss for doing that
No.
because people are gonna
Hell of a marketing ploy.
They're looking at them like, oh, it's those old guys. They're still wearing makeup.
Right.
You know, when everyone else is like Motley Crue and them or
Dude,
doing whatever.
I will say this: that was the most watched event besides fucking O.J. Simpson rolling away with that fucking white Bronco.
When
When-
September 18th, 1983.
When they go to, Brandon's mom, we were sitting there watching it.
Never
All
forget
of
it.
us, man.
Never
All
forget
of
it.
us.
I didn't have MTV at the time, but a friend of mine
I was
did.
gonna say, but you found somebody who did, didn't you?
Yep. And it was a Friday night, and then by Sunday he's at my house with a VHS tape. Those of you too young to remember, go look up what a VHS tape is. Comes to my house, goes. He just ran right through the door. My mom's like, "Hey, Shane," Brrr. Didn't even say hello. Walks over to the VCR. I think I was watching wrestling, All American Wrestling Sunday morning.
Yep.
He flips the TV, flips the switch in the back, puts the VHS tape in, and goes, "Watch this." Because nobody knew. And there they were, Kiss without makeup.
Oh yeah.
And there was Eric Carr.
I got to throw it out there though. Part of me can't help but think a little bit was because Gene was trying to push a movie career.
No,
Just a little
actually,
bit.
Gene wanted to keep the makeup. Paul wanted to be a real
Really?
band. A real band.
Well,
Not that
are
they
a
weren't
real band.
before.
You are a real band.
Exactly. But
Well, a lot of people.
can
were,
we do it without the gimmick? Can we
I was
do
gonna-
it?
yeah, I
Could
was gonna
Alice
say, a
Cooper
lot-
do it without the stage
a
show?
lot?
Right.
Oh God, no.
I think you
I
could.
like listening to his music.
God, no.
But the,
Yeah, the stage
the
show would.
stage show is what really sells.
No,
him.
exactly. No,
And
I
he
say
knows
no.
that.
I say
He knows
no.
that.
He
He's
could-
not.
He could not come rolling out like fucking Extreme and
Or Oasis.
no.
Because he,
Wow.
It
Because
would
he
destroy
kind of
him.
did that
It
with
would destroy him.
what was that album that had oh, what the hell is that? Poison. The song.
That's
album
a
was that?
stretch.
What song are you talking? We're getting off Eric Carr.
She's poison running
'Cause he-
through
Trash.
my veins.
Great fucking record.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm
I,
just
I
try-
don't buy it.
But he kind of dropped the stage stuff. in
Yeah,
it.
Hold
he's
on,
right.
hold on.
Because
I
no,
will-
wait,
It
wait.
was kind of.
It was trash.
giving you- I'm-
1988.
I'm giving you pause on Eric Carr. real
Okay.
quick. That's what.
Trash. 1988. I went to that show. Coincidentally, since we're talking about Eric Carr of Kiss, Ace Frehley opened on that tour, and it was December '88. I went and saw that show. I was in high school, Ledyard High. Props to Mr. D. God rest your soul. And
Go Colonels.
you're right. It was very stripped down. And a lot of people around me, first time I'm ever seeing Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was fucking phenomenal. People are like, you obviously never saw Alice Cooper before.
And I'm not saying the music was bad. I'm just saying I think he kind of jumped on the 90s MTV.
The non-shock because people
Yeah.
were looking down on it.
Because you didn't think you thought
Well,
of
you
Alice Cooper as theater.
Well, when
You
you
didn't
go
really
back
think of it as like concert.
with Cooper, you
Little
go
did
back.
he know 10 years later, goth rock would be knocking down
Right.
fucking people's door.
Go back 2 years with Alice Cooper. You have Constrictor. You and I have talked about that record. I love that fucking record.
Right.
And
That's a musical
MTV
record.
concert. It's
Yeah.
Teenage Frankenstein. It's The Man Behind the Mask, and it's the whole theatrical bullshit. A year later, Raise Your Fist and Yell. Same thing. Now Trash comes out. Musically fantastic.
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah.
love the music. I love Alice.
Visually, when you go see the show, and again, me being an Alice Cooper virgin at the time, I go see the show. I'm just hearing
I'd like to see if
the
he
fucking
changed
music.
record labels. Did he stay record labels the
We'd have
entire
to find-
time?
we'd have to find that
I
out.
can look it up.
I would
but
love to
I-
see if he changed record labels,
Alice
and
Cooper-
that's what
Alice Cooper though he's at that level kind of like with Kiss and like Queen was for most of their career where
you got to understand.
The
who
record
he's
labels were
facing at
dying.
this time. That's what I'm saying. You got to think who he's facing.
Labels
at this
were
time. In
merging.
the '80s. You got.
I think he was facing his mortgage is what he was doing.
Yeah,
Probably.
no shit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, I guarantee you, somebody came to him and was like, "Dude, we got to tone you down. People aren't buying your tickets. They're this, that, and the other thing." You know what I'm saying?
Which is
It's just
funny
not-
because when I saw the show, Full House.
right?
But I talked to people who went to the show 2-3 years earlier for the Constrictor record, Full House. It's
So
not
many
it's
albums.
not so much the music that draws an Alice Cooper fan.
right.
It's the show.
It's
And
him.
I'll say that about Kiss now. Eric Carr's been dead 27 years. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Kiss now draws because they are Kiss.
Right.
It's the makeup, it's the outfits, it's the spectacle, it's the bombs, it's rock and roll all night with the confetti. It's and look, I'm a huge Kiss freak. I'd love to hear them play the deep cuts, but you're never going to hear some of these deeper cuts. You're going to hear Rock and Roll All Night, Shout Out Loud, Detroit Rock City, Modern Day Delilah, Psycho Circus, on down the line, even Lick It Up,
You'll
which
hear,
I think is
look,
bullshit.
they'll throw in a couple for the fans.
Once
what I
in a
like
blue
to call a couple for the fans.
If you have an 18-song set, 2 are for the fans. The other 16 are for, if this is your first time seeing Kiss, here's all the shit you know.
Well,
But Poison does the same thing.
Garth Brooks.
Garth
does
Brooks
the same,
does the
not,
same
not
thing.
Not that he has anything. Well, he does.
Not that Chris ever saw standing outside the fire 2 years ago. Bunch of motherfuckers. Anyway, start the timer. I want to talk about Kiss.
Well, real quick.
Okay, go.
Alice Cooper was on Warner Brothers for most of his career, but
Went to Epic, didn't he?
Trash was Epic. Yeah,
I win the day again.
I knew it.
His only album for Epic, which kind of makes sense to me because look at the other artists Epic had at the time, including Europe.
Yes.
Fuck Europe.
Yes.
And a certain pop star that we know as the King was also on Epic.
Yes.
So that makes sense because they were selling a certain brand at the time.
Exactly.
I'll buy it.
But he was on for Constrictor. He was on MCA.
Yes.
So
yeah, but I don't think that was a
Constrictor and Raise Your Fist.
It wasn't a big time at that. I think, like I said, when you go into the 80s and people
he was coming down.
Yeah,
2 albums for Epic.
Raise Your Fist.
3.
What was the third? Last Temptation of Alice.
Yeah, Last Temptation. And,
God, I'm so good at this.
Yeah, and Hey Stupid.
Hey Stupid was an amazing fucking record. We'll do an Alice Cooper episode somewhere down the line.
All right, go ahead.
So Eric joins the band. They do this huge tour. They don't tour the States except for one show to introduce Eric Carr to the people. So they do the show. They go off to Europe. They do a massive European tour. They do an Australian tour. Millions and millions of dollars and thousands of fans. And now it's time for Eric Carr to make his fucking footprint into Kiss. We're going to make a record. And what do we get? This, motherfuckers. We get Music from the Elder. I brought this downstairs because this is the epitome of the shit that can happen when ego gets in the way of rock and roll. This is Here in the Now Frontier if you're a Queensryche fan. This is Native Tongue if you're a Poison fan. This is, I'm trying to think of another band that had just a Spaghetti Incident if you're a Guns N' Roses fan. This is that. This is Kiss trying to be something they're not. There are 3 great songs on this record. The Oath, I, and A World Without Heroes. The rest of it, garbage. This is like hot Burger King garbage. This is playing poker at your house and people are sloughing off on a 3-2 bet on the river.
Been there.
Garbage.
Been there.
Garbage. And for years, this record went out of print. And it wasn't until about 87 I actually, through the magic of Metal Edge magazine, they have the tape trader section.
Yeah.
And I was a big tape trader. It's how I discovered certain bands that I love today.
That was the best way
it's how
to do
I found
it.
Lizzie Borden.
That and freaking what was the other one that they had? But regardless of that's exactly how you did it, man. You
I found this record and I listened to it. And I went from beginning to end. I remember World Without Heroes and I, which was the 2 of the 3 songs I mentioned, being played on Casey Kasem's American Top 10 on a Saturday afternoon. Loved the songs. But I never heard the whole album. Through the tape traders, I found it, and I listened to it. And when I was done, I hit stop, and I was like, what the fuck did I just listen to? It's like Kiss wanted to become orchestral.
A Nickelback before they became Nickelback.
Thank you. Better than I could ever describe it, because what the fuck just doesn't cover it.
No, I know exactly what you're saying, man. And the shitty part is, for us, I know the people of nowadays are so used to just, hey, 99-cent song, yay, buy it. Or a deal, $5 for $5, any song, any artist, buy it. We had to enjoy the entire album.
Oh,
because we paid $15.
Well, back in the day, the cassette, yes, we're that old.
Yes.
Anywhere between $7.99 and $10.
Yes. Your CD is $12.99 to $15.99, depending on how new a release it was.
And you want to hear it because if you're a fan of the band, you want to hear everything,
every fucking song. So you played it from top to front, beginning to end, back to. It didn't fucking matter. it had a story, it had a meaning, and if you dealt with something like this, it hurt your soul. These fuckers cut you. They know you took your, and you did.
There's
we
a
took
reason.
our hard-earned money and we bought this fucking shit. We did
This
man.
shit.
We bought this,
But it wasn't his fault. He's the hired gun.
No, absolutely.
But what happens a year later blows him back up. This is where they're still in makeup. Creatures of the Night. You have the song of the same name, Creatures of the Night. You have I Still Love You. You have I Love It Loud. I implore you, if you've never heard the album Creatures of the Night, go out, download it. If you do not like it, I'll give you your $1.99. You will love it. If you're a fan of big, bombastic drums.
I'm sure it's not $1.99 for that album.
Whatever. On Apple, I don't know how much it is on
it's
Apple.
Probably $15 straight.
Fair enough. I'll pay you the money. If you're a fan of big, bombastic, Led Zeppelin-like drums, this is your record, Creatures of the Night, 1982. I'm not a fan of I Love It Loud because it's so overplayed. It's like Lick It Up. I'm not a big fan. But that tour was the first time I ever saw Kiss live.
It's not no Rock and Roll All Night, though.
No, it's what, I Love It Loud?
As far as like
Fuck, I Love It Loud.
As far as being played.
Gotcha. You're right, but at least Rock and Roll All Night is acceptable.
Everywhere.
First time I saw Kiss, January 29, 1983. Still in makeup, Worcester Centrum. Vinnie Vincent was in the band as the guitarist. There will be no talk of Vinnie Vincent anywhere on this podcast. And it was just amazing. It was the first time. It was everything I wanted. And then fast forward 8 months later, they're taking the makeup off, and here comes Lick It Up. Another amazing record. And then you go from there, Animalize, another amazing record. You can hear more Eric Carr on Animalize, background vocals, songwriting. His stamp is all over that record. Move into the more, now the MTV is starting to embrace Kiss, and more of you guys are learning who Kiss is, other than, is that the guys in makeup? Tears Are Falling. You remember that video? That's probably the first introduction to Kiss other than the radio.
Yes.
And you see them. And sorry about the outfits, guys. I wasn't their fashion designer. Those outfits were hideous, but the songs were amazing.
Oh, those outfits were bad.
I have a funny story, and we'll fast forward a couple years because the Crazy Nights record doesn't get any love from me. Oh, there's just, other than Reason to Live, a fantastic song. Eric Carr's all over that record, too. The drums, again, drums. When you listen to any of that 80s Kiss
the
stuff.
pace for the songs.
Right.
You hear nothing but those drums coming in, and even a drum solo, which the 80s epitomized drum solos, I really believe.
When Ed comes back to the seat, I'll see if he can drum up a particular drum solo where he incorporates electronic drums. He's a one-man band.
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. You can pull some incredible stuff off.
He's amazing. But we're going to skip the Crazy Nights record and go to Hot in the Shade, which Hide Your Heart, Rise to It. And the story I'm going to tell is, you know, kids in my school, you went to the same school, Ledyard High School, were vicious about my love for Kiss. Vicious. And then that ballad came out, Forever, which a lot of you probably got married to. And all they could talk about was, I saw the new Kiss video. Dude, the drums were fantastic. And it was one of those sweet wedding ballads. And in the middle of it, you have Eric Carr. Pa, 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 pa.
Oh, he goes to town on that song.
Oh, yes.
He goes to town on that song.
Go watch the video when we're done, Forever.
Almost reminds me of Cinderella's only popular song there.
Don't know what you got till it's gone?
Yeah.
Fred Corey was amazing. Good friends, by the way, Fred Corey and Eric Carr. On a video that I have called Tale of the Fox, which was a documentary made about 10 years after Eric's death, Fred Corey tells a story. They're on the Sunset Strip. They're having lunch. They're just chilling. Two guys with big, poofy, bouffant haircuts. And somebody comes up and looks at Fred Corey and goes, "Aren't you Eric Carr?" And Eric Carr is sitting right there. He goes, Yeah, man, I am. And he signs a thing, and the guy looks over at Eric Carr and goes, "Holy shit, you're the guy from Quiet Riot." And he goes, yeah, I am. And he signs the autograph. And then when it was done, it was like, did we just actually go through that shit?
The best part is the guy's probably going to try to sell those.
Oh, yeah. It's been on eBay for years, and they're like, nope, fake,
yeah, that's
faker
a fake
than
one.
shit.
But it is, actually.
I had the pleasant opportunity in 1988. We had a computer class, can't remember the teacher's name, but we were learning about how to write letters to companies. And write a letter to a company with a complaint you have. Well, the only complaint I ever had was Kiss is starting to get soft. So I wrote a letter to Kiss. And it was 2 pages. Stop with the bullshit synthesizer. Give me more guitars. I saw you guys, 10 times by that point. I need more bombast in the show. I need this. And I sent it off. And nobody ever expects a response.
Right.
I got a response. I opened the mailbox one day, and there's a letter, and in big-ass letters on the envelope it says, Kiss. I'll never forget this. 1414 Avenue of the Americas, New York, New York, 01 Gimmick Schnabitzfernum. And it's raining. So it hits the envelope, and I'm thinking, this is pre-printed bullshit, and the ink runs. I'm like, I got to get my ass in the house. I open up the thing, and it's on Kiss letterhead, and unfortunately, a flood in my basement a couple years ago ruined this, but my mother will tell you this is the God's honest truth. I framed it. It was on my wall for years.
Yep.
And it said, Dear Chris, let me tell you this. The next album and everything to follow is going to make you very happy. Keep rocking, Eric Carr. My heart fell through my asshole right there in my house. So, of course, what do? I wrote back. And I sent it, funny thing, remembering an Eric Carr story of when he auditioned for the band, everybody sends their 8x10s in a manila envelope. He sent his in a Dayglow orange envelope. So what do I send mine in? Spencer used to sell those free condom digest and nose pickers digest or whatever. I sent it in one of those Spencer's envelopes. Eric Carr, care of the Kiss Company. 1414 Avenue of the Americas, New York, New York, yada, yada, yada. Send it away. I got a letter back. And it started this weird every 6 months because they're busy as fuck. I got to meet him. Because of this, I got to meet him. December 12th, 1988, New Haven Coliseum. I'm backstage. I've got a laminate, which somebody stole from me, and you know who you are, and you're probably watching this show, you fucking cunt. Fucking hate you. Stole my laminate. I have it to this day. It was baby blue, had the Chikara symbol, which is on my arm because of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Kiss Crazy Nights guest, and it had the date on it. And I got to meet Eric Carr. And one of the nicest, sweetest human beings you'll ever meet.
That's awesome.
And it's why I have such an affinity for him. Not just because of his drumming, but because he was just a nice, sweet, amazing, genuine.
That's
human
exactly
being.
that's the biggest thing about a lot of these artists of nowadays is they don't get that anymore. They don't understand what it's like to be human. They're given their status, and like that, it's sold. It's out in the market. It's you don't need to give back to the fans if you don't want to. And if you want to give back to fans nowadays, you give them a like on their Twitter comment, or you give them a retweet on there, and that shows your love.
There's only 2 rock stars I can equate to Eric Carr right now, and that's Charlie Benante and Nathan Hunt, because they care, because they're genuine in meeting the people.
I would like to say David Grohl is probably the same way.
I've never met him, so I
not
can't.
not me personally, but I'm saying, like, if we went out,
Frank Bello, I would put in the same.
You know, if we went out of our way and kind of went and met him, I think he'd probably be that way. I think there's a few rock stars that would be like that, but for the most part, no. I think you're right. I think it's just too hard.
To equate it to Freddie Mercury, they put out an entire album of his songs that were good but not good enough to make the album. They put out that Made in Heaven record in '95. Eric Carr dies November 24th, same day as Freddie Mercury, as why we're doing this, of heart cancer. Freddie died of AIDS. 6 hours later, we lose Eric Carr. They put out the tribute album to Freddie Mercury, Made in Heaven. The next Kiss record is Revenge, which I know is one of your favorites.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And they put that track at the end of the drum solo with Bruce Kulick overdubbing the guitars. Everything else is the same, except Bruce is throwing down a pretty badass solo. There aren't too many bands that they lose a member. Def Leppard lost a band member. They don't do a tribute. On stage, maybe they'll say, hey, Steve Clark, yada, yada. People die, and we get it.
Our drummer still has no arm.
Yeah, right? Here's to Rick Allen's arm.
We totally could have moved on and had been a better band, but We're loyal.
Right?
We're loyal.
We love this kid, bloke.
We're loyal.
But that Carr Jam, that's what they called it, Carr Jam 1981, was phenomenal. And I remember the first time I heard it, I'm in tears, just tears pouring down my face. I remember where I was on November 24th, 1991, when I heard the news.
Yeah.
I remember when I heard Freddie Mercury at about probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Brandon's mom actually told us about it, and
Wow.
I was like, wow, what? And I actually didn't hear about David Carr until a few days later.
Eric Carr. David Carr's the quarterback.
I don't know why I said that, but I was.
You got football in the brain.
I
It's
do.
okay.
I actually heard about that, and I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. We just lost Freddie a couple days ago, and they said, no, dude.
It was earlier today.
We lost him the same day that we lost Freddie. And I was like, what? They were like, yeah, like within 6 hours, man. Because you guys go, we didn't have this, we didn't get the updates, and Facebook wasn't throwing you something from 3 years ago, and people still falling for the fact that Gilligan's dead, and he's been dead for 8 years.
Or Malcolm Young, who died a year ago from AC/DC. We get that a lot. Yeah. Chief J. Strongbow died 5 years ago. We talked about that not too long ago. Yes. I was in my basement at my parents' house. I just transitioned from military life to National Guard life and heard about Freddie Mercury. Downer. And it's just like, wow, fucking Freddie Mercury. And then my friends came over to play cards. And we're listening to WAAF, big rock station here in the area, out of Boston, 107.3. And they played a trio of Kiss songs. And they ended it with God Gave Rock and Roll to You, which had just been in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which was also on the Revenge album a year later. And I'm like, wow, it's weird that they played 3 Kiss songs. And one of my buddies says, yo, maybe Gene Simmons is dead too. Everybody laughs. They're like, okay, that was 3 from Kiss. And we're the bearer of bad news. We just found out about an hour ago Eric Carr lost his battle with cancer. And all the life drained out of me. I wasn't necessarily a friend to Eric Carr, but I consider when you're 16 at the time and then you go to 21, you consider him a friend.
It's more than that, dude. You gotta look at it this way: if you guys are continuing on conversations, even if it's just about the band, you guys have made a friendship. Therefore, you guys were friends. You might not have been his everyday friend. You might not have been his best friend.
I may not be somebody he thought about on a daily basis.
But once he got that envelope, did he go like this?
No. I got a letter back.
He sat down and he read that, and he's like, "This is from my friend Chris. Let me write back to my friend Chris and see how he's doing." You know what I'm saying? This is how you go through. It's the same point. Like we have friends that we don't talk to that we're still friends with.
We had a question come in, and I'm gonna address this, but Eddie's still probably upstairs eating the ribbon candy. Eddie's eating the ribbon candy like you guys did last week. Steven says, "Did you get to see Queen at the New Haven Coliseum?" Sadly, I never got to see Queen with Freddie Mercury. I'm going to be 46 in a week and a half, 2 weeks. My man over here is 44. Am I doing my math right?
Yes.
So, I loved Queen, but it wasn't a band that I was going to go out of my way to see. Back then, in the late 80s, I was a little more extreme, if you will, with my rock and roll. I wanted to see Kiss. I wanted to see Alice Cooper. I wanted to see who's the heaviest band I saw at that point? Anthrax was a band that I chased. Metallica.
At least at my age, I'm not getting fucking rides to all these fucking things. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of
I had a buddy that was into all those shows. If I bought the tickets, he drove.
Concerts were fucking Riverside concerts, dude. My parents would drop us off.
But they were still so great.
No, but they were great. That's what I'm saying. But you got to understand, Riverside didn't throw Queen there.
No,
Riverside threw
they threw Slaughter.
Right.
Rat.
Right.
Bullet Boys.
Shit that was fucking just starting to
that late there. Compounds triple threat. It was Slaughter, Bullet Boys.
Oh, what a great
and Vixen before Britt joined the band.
Dude.
Oh, it was so good.
That was awesome. Then all you can drink soda. I was all. It was great.
Well, we were at that age, yeah.
Fucking great.
But thank you to your point, and it makes me feel good to think that Eric Carr in some way thought of me as a friend.
Oh, no, absolutely. I don't doubt that for 1 second, dude. I do not doubt that for 1 second. Like I said, when people choose to do that, and like I said, and then the fact that you actually met him backstage, you
got given passes by Eric Carr.
That's what I'm saying. So you were given, that connection was real. You guys have shared the same space. You share the same oxygen. You've shared thoughts. You've saved ideas.
Pressed flesh, if you will. You're shaking hands.
Exactly. That's the
I hugged him the first time I met him. I'm unapologetic. The first time I met Eric Carr, we had shared probably 5 letters at that time. And then I'm told, where you live in Connecticut. We're playing this date, this date, this date. Tell me where you want to go. There's tickets and passes at the door.
And you're like,
I'm
fuck
like,
yeah.
New Haven, that's the closest. Okay, 2 tickets, and there was a phone conversation with the office. Never got to talk to Eric until I met him. There was a phone conversation with the office. Okay, you want to go to the New Haven show? That's December 12th, 1987. First time I saw Anthrax, by the way. They were opening that tour. And, okay, they'll be there in your name. You and a friend, come up, whatever. And his name was Ray. I can't remember his last name to save my life. But he was a guy in high school, the only other guy in high school that shared my Kiss, except for Mikey Barker, who, if he'd have been a little older, he might have been there. But Ray had a car. Ray wanted to go see Kiss and Anthrax. We went and saw Kiss and Anthrax. We went backstage. And as I'm walking through, I've got my pass. I'm doing like the Wayne's World thing. Yep. I'm holding the pass up. Not quite like that, but I'm showing like, can I go here? Can I go here? Can I go here? And they right this way. The dressing room door opens, and he's right there holding Carr. I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Carr. And he looks at me and says, I'm Chris Burns. I'm from, Gales Ferry, Connecticut. And he goes, you're the letter kid. Great to meet you. And all I could do was hug him.
Yeah.
And it was, anybody wonders why I love this band is because they care about the people. Had a brief hello with the band. Bruce Kulick is amazing. Seen him a couple times over the years at different conventions. What a great guy. Gene, I got the usual, hello, it's nice to meet you. That's why I say I've never met Gene Simmons. I got the, hello, nice to meet you. Paul Stanley was charmed. So I never met Paul Stanley, but I've been face to face with them. But Eric Carr sat with me for 10, 15 minutes. How'd you like the show? What was your favorite part of the show? What did you dig? And I'm like, dude, I could do without Lick It Up. He's like, that'll never happen.
Yeah.
Paul's in love with that song. Well, what did you think of the drum solo? I'm like, fucking phenomenal. So they come back again a year later, Hot in the Shade tour. We didn't get passes, but we enjoyed the show. Now I have direct access to Eric Carr with his personal address. Right. I'm not writing to the office anymore. I'm writing to his address on 53rd Street. It's funny how I remember that. In Manhattan. Loved the show. This was great. This was great. The drum solos was great. What was up with the Kiss logo? That was bullshit. That was like ghetto.
It looked like whack, yeah.
Yeah, it did. But I loved the Sphinx. I loved the fact that it opened its mouth and it sang some of the lyrics, and he was enjoying it. And you fast forward now 8 months, I get this card in the mail. And you open it up, it's got a picture of Eric, and it says, hey, dudes, thanks for rocking with me. Times are tough. I'm sick, but I'm going to get through this, etc., so forth. This was in April of 91. It comes to my house. I'm still in the military before transitioning to whatever, and it's sent to me. And I open it up. I'm like, oh, fuck, Eric's sick. I don't know what to do. It's just like, okay, I wrote to him again. Never got another response because he was gone within 6 months.
Right.
And just a really good, genuine human being. And it's cemented. If I didn't love Kiss
those are the ones
before,
that you hate losing, man.
If I wasn't a fan of Kiss before, Eric Carr made me. Right. And I'll say that in capital letters, made me love Kiss.
Well, that's awesome.
Some bands just need a kick in the ass.
Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. Peter Criss, hell of a drummer, but Eric Carr gave them a musical kick in the ass. Without question. And we were talking about drum solos. I don't know if it's copyrighted material. If you could look up we're not going to share it now. Share it on the Loki and Jabroni Show page if you would. Eric Carr 1990 drum solo. We were talking about how he incorporated electronic pads. Mm-hmm. So he's playing beats, and he would switch his hands and play these crazy electronic. It was just amazing. Just you never see it. Everybody thinks drummer. Everybody thinks drummer is 2-4, 2-4, 2-4, 2-4. My stepdaughter, when she wanted to play,
not if you're in Def Leppard.
No, nope. You're 2,
1-1,
2,
1-1,
2, 2. No, not at all. We referenced it when you were gone. When my stepdaughter wanted to start to play drums, I'm like, here, watch this. And I gave her Eric Carr, the 1990 drum solo with the electronic pads. I'm like, one-man band. This is what you can do. If you believe it, you can achieve it. And I look at her now; she's winning awards. She's doing great things out there with the drums, and she's not doing it because of me. She wanted to play the drums. I just kind of maybe gave her the nudge up underneath the ass to get there.
You said you disown her if she failed.
No, absolutely not.
Put lit cigarettes out in her eye every time she fucked up.
As long as you have heart, desire, and effort, it only goes on your arm, like Mike said. But real quick, I know I've dominated the Kiss conversation, but
as you should.
Shut up. I'm gonna go from Creatures in '82 to Hot in the Shade '89. That whole '80s Kiss era. Your favorite Kiss song from the '80s, obviously, would feature Eric Carr. But everybody's got one, whether it's Tears Are Falling, Heaven's on Fire. You can pick Car Jam if you want. I Love It Loud. I don't even care. Because his drums made that song tolerable.
I guess I gotta go with Tears, man.
Great song.
I got it.
Great fucking tune. Ed? I know you don't have many. You just judging by the
gave
empty.
Rock and Roll to You Part 2.
I'll buy it. Although,
which is probably the only one I really heard.
A little bit of trivia. He didn't play drums on that record, but he sang those backup vocals that you hear, that orchestral
The voice
middle.
of an angel.
That was him. That was him. Him and Paul Stanley in that middle. God gave rock.
I'm just
and
looking.
roll.
It's like it says Carr.
I know.
I'll listen to some shit.
I'll give you a couple before you leave. Just because of the drums, not because of anything else. We're talking about Eric Carr. Has to be about the drums. But what a fantastic human being. Once again, not November 24th, 1991, lost his battle with heart cancer. And man, I contend the band has never been the same since.
I'll go with that.
All right. Well, Steven,
I mean, although I do like Revenge.
Revenge was amazing. And Eric Singer came up huge.
A
on
lot.
That
And you gotta. That's the other big thing is you're replacing Carr. And
Eric Carr was more beloved than Peter Criss. Now you're replacing a guy that was here in the hearts of the fans. You have to come up big.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna win the hearts and minds of the purists, you need to come.
Oh, you better come with a thunder. Oh, you
Yeah.
better come with a thunder.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like Eric Carr did that.
Oh yeah,
and then some.
And then when Eric Singer replaced him, it's on was it Kiss Extreme Close Up, which you can't find anymore. If you can find it, it's like $50 on DVD. Don't waste your money.
Yeah.
Go find it on Titanium TV, which you can download through your Fire Stick going through lokiandjabroni.com.
Yay.
And if you can find Extreme Close Up, he talks about it. He's like, I'm replacing a fucking god. I have a lot of work to do, and he won the fans. But he did it in his own way. I dig Eric Singer.
Yeah, if you do it legitly, if you do it with hard work and actual realism, people, like I said, real feels real, man.
I'm going the Eddie route now. Now I'm getting a little misty because I miss the shit out of him to this day. It's Eric Carr. It's Eric fucking Carr. He was the guy that got me to meet my favorite
the same
band.
Thing. What if he's still alive? What if he is still going with Kiss? What directions do they make?
I think they still do the reunion, but this is the capital
changes.
but.
That's what I'm saying. There's things that and as well as Singer did it. What differences would have been on Revenge?
No difference.
How much? I don't know. Maybe
there might have been more bombast in the drums because Eric Carr was just a little more bombastic.
Just like
Eric is very much a finesse. Eric Singer, sorry, pronouns pal. Eric Singer's a finesse drummer, but he's got power. Eric Carr was a bombastic drummer. Peter Criss was like keeping time.
Yeah,
getting paid by the hour.
It was my job.
Fantastic singer, not a great drummer. But
I don't think the reunion happens.
The reunion happens, but here's my caveat. I think they keep Eric Carr because he was the last of the makeup era. Him and Vinnie Vincent. Yes, he was the Fox.
Mm-hmm.
They bring back Ace, and that 96 tour is Ace Frehley, Eric Carr, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley.
Because the more I'm just looking at the history, the more I'm looking at that, I'm thinking the reunion is more of, okay, we lost our phenomenal drummer and we need a gimmick.
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
So I think
No
if
offense
Carr-
to Eric Singer, who eventually put on the cat makeup and is playing with them now for the last 18 years. You did. You lost a beloved member of the family. Eric Singer's fantastic, but he's not
Right.
He's not here.
It looks like with Carr though, you got more original content.
That's
than
my
you have,
point.
Agreed.
You know,
That's
and
my point. Going
now
into
you kind of
Revenge,
have.
yeah, we still have this. I think a lot of the same songs.
Revenge
but
still
I
happens.
I think we have. Yeah, but I think we might have a mega hit on there that we don't have right now.
Oh, without
That's
question.
my point. You know what I'm saying? I
Without
think I
question.
think he interjects. It's the same idea that fucking Ed brought up. What if Freddie's still around to this day? Who does he Who does he play with? Who does he?
One was 45 years.
It's like what if
You know?
Tupac was still alive?
Right.
kind of
There's
thing,
all
yeah.
kinds of like we lose great artists all the fucking
Mm-hmm.
time. We really do, and there's always that question of what they can create if they were still around.
Dime.
And
I think the same thing about Dime.
And maybe we lost them for that specific reason, is that we couldn't
Randy
handle
Rhoads, same
what
way.
they were gonna bring. You know
Jimi
what I'm
Hendrix,
saying?
same
Maybe
way.
there was just realism that music could have brought. That
Right.
there was nothing else they could do.
Let me throw
you
another
know?
name out that people might not think I like, but I absolutely thought her shit was amazing. Amy Winehouse, same way.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Oh God.
What could she have done if she lived past 27?
The problem is, same idea. Another tragic figure. Another person that was hidden.
But we're
Her
gonna.
pain was constantly hidden,
Oh,
just
yeah.
like Freddie. Constantly
But
fucking hidden.
Freddie lived to 45. Eric lived to 41. They got to live their rock star dream. It's not like these guys that die at 27. Whether
Yeah, but
whatever
Amy
the
was
case
trying to
is.
live her father's fucking dream, and that was
Correct.
the big fucking problem there.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen Nas get interviewed, but the man does not cry. When he talks about Amy Winehouse, he fucking cries.
I can imagine.
They worked together briefly in a
tragic.
couple songs.
It was tragic, man.
And-
She was an artist through and through.
Yeah.
She was
Shit,
an artist.
You know, I know we've talked about the artists we came here to talk about, but to go on the Amy Winehouse point, when I first heard that Rehab song, I thought it was a gimmick. I thought it was kind of cute.
Oh, without a doubt.
But the more I listened, I was like, wow, this woman could be the voice of a generation. 3 years later, she's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Her demons get the best of her. Like you
Oh.
said, she's living her father's life. I got to sneak away for a minute before we close, but
Oh, we're
anything
pretty
you wanna-
much getting ready to. So I mean, unless you got the bladder of a squirrel, you're gonna miss out on the good.
I didn't eat lunch today. I've been drinking Coca-Colas all day, and I had about four or five of these. So
Guys, just want to
Dying.
say thank y'all very much. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you already haven't. Make sure you hit that little bell button there too, because that'll let you notifications. And if you have this one of these little smartphones, it'll ding-a-ling-a-bonk. and
I
then all you
found a
have
way to
do is-
buy 45 seconds because I wanted to do it twice. If you're in the southeastern Connecticut area on December 1st, there's a fantastic fundraiser that needs your help, and every dollar counts.
7th.
December 7th?
Yes.
I'm working
Are you
late
talking?
that-
Are you talking about the Evan
Working
one?
late that night, too. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, the Evan one's the 7th.
All right. Well, the Evan one is the 7th, and Mike's going to tell you a little bit about it. I need 45 seconds. I told you I'd do this twice. We're going to do it for the second time now.
And the 7th of December, we're going to be doing the Evan White Fund, the pasta dinner, which is going to consist of Alfredo, chicken, meatballs, marinara, all going to be homemade. We're going to have salad. There's going to be bread. There's going to be karaoke. There's going to be DJs, face painting, raffles. It's going to be a great time. Like I said, it's at the Preston VFW. There's all kinds of questions. If you want to have if you have any questions furthermore, make sure you guys can message us directly onto the Facebook page, or even leave us comments, or even message us individually right on our phones, and we can give you any of the information from there on out. Other than that, guys, I just want to say that we thank you every single week for tuning in. You could be doing anything else, but you do watch us, and we appreciate that. Don't forget, also, we have Basement Quest cooking around, and it is getting ready to take off. We already threw some videos up on there. Super excited about it. I think the first episode we were talking about going with versus D&D
Palladium
and
Fantasy
Palladium.
versus
Yeah.
Dungeon Dragons. Since I am a Palladium game master and
I am a DM.
young
so.
Michael here is a dungeon master.
And it was funny because for the longest time we would we'd make jokes about if we were having a piss poor adventure, he'd call me a GM. And if he was having a piss poor adventure, I'd call him a DM. Little stabs, and unless you're a gamer, been doing it for a little bit of time, you don't catch on to these things. So make sure, if you guys haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to that. It's going to be a good time. Yeah.
And please, we've kind of gotten away with this, but it's very important. If you use iTunes to listen, please leave the reviews.
Absolutely.
We need, that'll push us up in the ranking and get more subscribers. As of now, iTunes is the only one with a real review system. So
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of sucks because
although iHeartRadio has a like or dislike.
Yeah, do the
gimmick.
like, dislike, listen. I think Spotify has a rating system. You can use that.
We're on both those platforms.
Yes.
Same thing with
get all three and like all three of them.
There you go.
On the Speedway, leave an iTunes review. There is an audio version.
Yeah, CNJ Speedway review will be back. We're not sure if it's tomorrow, Thursday, or next week. I'm kind of enjoying life away from racing. I know that sounds crazy, but
you're just sad because Harvick.
No, I'm actually not. Funny story. I'll share it on the Speedway review. I'll explain why I think Joey Logano is a great champion for this
because he won.
Well, that usually does it.
Yeah, you can't be a champion unless you win. Who invited this kid? But
been here for a while.
I'll explain that on the CNJ Speedway review.
I was there when it happened, so fuck you.
And I said congratulations to Joe Logano, so fuck you. And you watched an entire 3-hour race and didn't complain once, so I got to give you props. Check that out. YouTube, iTunes, wherever you want to go. Let's wrap it up. And guys, thank you again for indulging us in two of our favorite musicians.
Absolutely.
This was great. And next week, Mike is unloading conspiracy theory Jones on us. I'm doing my research now.
Yes.
You want to tell him a little something about it?
So next week we're going to dabble into the MK Ultra conspiracy. Is the CIA secretly fucking with your favorite Hollywood actor or superstar? Do yourself a favor, do a little homework, because we're going to go full force into this next week. Let you guys know what we think about it.
Send us a photo with your best tinfoil hat.
There you go.
I might wear one next week, and the Jason Todd mask.
Let's get some tinfoil hats going.
That works.
You
that works.
got it.
Protect our asses.
I love you guys, and I love all you guys out there, man.
Good night. We love you, Corey.
We love you.
Good night. Good night.
You're gonna show